They are trying to intimidate you. They are trying to instill fear in you. Like I have said, Zambia is not Tanzania. Zambia is a Christian nation. Zambians, Christians right now are fasting. They are on their knees. And Lord Almighty will show that he reigns supreme. At the mention of the name of Jesus, in case you wanted to know, every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. That's what gives us the strength. They are trying to intimidate you. They are trying to instill fear in you. Like I have said, Zambia is not Tanzania. Zambia is a Christian nation. Zambians, Christians right now are fasting. They are on their knees. And Lord Almighty will show that he reigns supreme. At the mention of the name of Jesus, in case you wanted to know, every knee shall bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. That's what gives us the strength. They are trying to intimidate.
The UPND cannot win this election. Never. There is no miracle they can perform to win this election. So they've now resorted to the Tanzania formula. Zambia is not Tanzania. Zambia is not Tanzania. This is Zambia. This is Zambia. Our God, our Lord, shines his light upon this country. This is a Christian nation. Every Christian is on their knees today to pray. And we shall emerge supreme as Christians. So for those that think they can import ideas that worked in Tanzania into this country, you've got it all wrong. So my dear colleagues from Tanzania who've been hired, please get out of this country and go back. Please. The UPND cannot win this election.
We are very concerned by the decision of the judiciary to effectively close down all courts in Zambia today on a ground which is very vaguely and very ambiguously stated as security concerns. Now, we recognize the responsibility of the judiciary to safeguard judicial officers, staff, litigants, and even court premises themselves where a genuine security threat exists. But I think the gist of the concern we have really is that the timing of this decision falls within the post-election period, and in particular on the last day of the constitutional window for commencing proceedings to challenge the presidential election results. Now, it is of course already on a public record that one of the aggrieved presidential candidates has indicated their intention to challenge the results. And so it is very troubling that an administrative decision that will effectively serve as a stumbling block to the commencement of that intended action appears to have been made really with no or very little regard for the harm that will be occasioned on that aggrieved candidate's constitutional right. Now, in the midst of a very heightened political tension, the state really should be encouraging aggrieved political actors to seek judicial redress rather than creating circumstances or conditions that make it very difficult for that process to actually take effect. We therefore call upon the judiciary to immediately rescind this decision, subject of course to the necessary security arrangements being made, and in the case where the physical reopening of the courts is genuinely impossible, the immediate establishment and public communication of alternative mechanisms through which commencement of actions can be done really needs to be put in place. At the stage of the electoral process where we are, as a country, we do not need fewer avenues for resolving any electoral disputes. What we need is strong, accessible, and trusted institutions through which any electoral dispute can be peacefully resolved. And so we urge the judiciary really to act with the urgency that this moment demands.
Wake up to this morning news analysis show that provide facts, opinions, and reflections. On what the papers say, we frame key facts to provide a balanced perspective. Set the national agenda and focusing on cross-referencing newspaper coverage with primary data. Expert and special guests to offer an in-depth look at daily stories. Live on EMV, I'm talking about Emmanuel Mwamba Verified. Wake up to this morning news analysis show that provide facts, opinions, and reflections. On what the papers say, we frame key facts to provide a balanced perspective. Set the national agenda and focusing on cross-referencing newspaper coverage with primary data. Expert and special guests to offer an in-depth look at daily stories. Live on EMV, I'm talking about Emmanuel Mwamba Verified. Wake up to this morning news analysis show that provide facts, opinions, and reflections. On what the papers say, we frame key facts to provide a balanced perspective. Set the national agenda and focusing on cross-referencing newspaper coverage with primary data. Expert and special guests to offer an in-depth look at daily stories. Live on EMV, I'm talking about Emmanuel Mwamba Verified.
Good morning and welcome to today's program. This is a day that the Lord has made and we shall rejoice in it. I'm asking you to quickly share the broadcast. There are so many updates that we need to give. Yesterday, in the evenings, there were so many developing facts, and I didn't want to come to the broadcast with half-baked information or just for the sake of coming for the show. I think that these are critical times, and you need to have proper information, verified information, and sometimes just a rush for us to go live because we've scheduled a live program. Sometimes it doesn't help when the information is not strong. We need to have that strong information that we bring to you for purposes of you to make decisions. Besides, since campaign periods 90 days ago, we barely have slept, you and me, because we've been watching the events as they were developing and unfolding. Today, I'm going to answer the very difficult question that you've been throwing at me. What shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? And I've been passing it on to leaders, but I realize all the leaders are jailed, are in prison, or have gone into hiding. They cannot say. I keep on saying you, the people, must decide, must answer the burning question of what must be done. I didn't want it to come from me. I didn't want to plant or incite you, but it has become an inescapable duty that we answer that question. What shall we do? Here are the glaring facts. An election has been stolen. a president is on his way to be imposed on our country for the next 5 years. His supporters are telling us to move on and accept defeat because they claim they accepted defeat when Hichilema was defeated in 2006, in 2008, in 2011, in 2015, 2016, until he won in 2021. But Hichilema was defeated in almost all those cases. If you look at 2006, despite having a coalition of UNIP and FDD, he was displaced by the Patriotic Front, a party by 2001 that had one MP. It overtook the coalition that President Hakainde Hichilema had formed in 2006, and PF became the dominant opposition party. 2008, he lost the presidential vote. He was number 3. In 2011, PF won elections, and MMD came second with 53 votes. And the 2015 election was a sympathy election. People sympathized. Barely known Edgar Lungu was just a minister, but they had seen that he was carrying on the legacy of Mr. Sata, and that's a sympathy votes he enjoyed in 2016 and 2015 and 2016. In 2021, there was an opportunity for him to become president, and he did become president. In 2026, we have glaring evidence, and thank God that this election was monitored heavily by both international and local observers, and we know the amount of threats and cohesion that's going on to make, for example, the local observers change what they found, revise their projections, and show that President Hakainde Hichilema won. But it's very clear that when he was losing, he sent in soldiers and UPND cadres, and they stormed polling centers and totaling centers and counting centers and changed the results. The results we have is totally inflated. He didn't win this election. He lost. He lost handsomely. Yesterday, I was giving you the narrative of this post. Where is that paper? We should keep it very near us because it's going to be part of the discussions as we begin to look ahead of what needs to be done. There's a table I showed you that clearly shows that the president lost elections, and both the EU and other observers compiled this list. Can you imagine? Whoever voted knows that you were given 4 ballots, and you voted for the president, for the mayor, for the MP, and the ward councillor. But 32 of these seats, accounting to 1.8 million votes that Hichilema has stolen, are showing these glaring irregularities. And they've been documented by TIZ, by EU, by AU, and SADC, 32 of the seats. Let's take an example. Solwezi Central, ECZ Mwangala Zalumis announced the bogus result of 54,207. But the MP got 29,000, and the councillors got, the mayor also got similar amount. So you are telling us that 25,000 people entered that polling station and went away with the 3 ballots for parliamentary and for mayor and ward councillor, and your books and your records do not show what happened. Your sport ballots in Solwezi are ridiculous. They don't show that you have 25,000 missing papers. Mongu Central, 47,000 voted for the president. 30,000 for parliamentarians, different 17,000. You are telling us 17,000 walked in those polling stations in Mongu and went away with the ballots to their homes. Because you can't account for those. Southern province was worse. There were huge difference, and the seats are 32. Literally, President Hakainde Hichilema has been apportioned votes of up to 1.8 million votes that he didn't receive. If you look at what Brian Mundubile and the votes that President Hakainde Hichilema got, you clearly see that he was beaten, and beaten very cleanly, that Brian Mundubile won this election by their own records, ECZ, and by the views of the monitors. So you've been asking me that question. So what do we do? They've stolen an election. Are we going to have a president who has stolen an election become our president? Today, I answer that question. I'm not going to evade it. I'm going to propose what I think you Zambians who turned up, stayed on the queue, voted the president out of office. He doesn't want to be like our statesman, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, who was humble to accept defeat. He doesn't want to be like, that fatherly figure and diplomat, Rupiah Banda, who lost an election and humbly gave it up. He doesn't want to be like this soft-spoken, tall man in Edgar Lungu, lawyer, who when he lost election, he graciously gave it to President Hakainde Hichilema. What has Hichilema done instead? He sent in soldiers in counting centers. They changed results, and he has deployed soldiers in major cities and towns to threaten and to cow you into submission, to paralyze you with fear. And then he's rounded up the opposition and the leaders and inverted the story of the militia. Inverted the story of the militia. So what do? Remember, I've been reprimanding you because you keep on saying, what about the United Nations? How are you and now to say, and I'll discuss it. The church should come in. What about church now to say, no, Donald Trump should come in. No, the EU should come in. Where is the US ambassador? Why is he quiet? Where is the British ambassador? No, this matter is yours as Zambians. You are the one that suffered the economy. You are the one that suffered the pain. You are the ones that suffered the human rights abuses. And you're the one that made a conscious decision to vote President Hakainde Hichilema out of office. He's trying to impose himself. He's even closing courts when you're about to file in a petition. So what do you do as citizens today? We answer that question. Share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. Not mule ntumina kwaiti wamambatu wala chitashani, wamambatu wala chitenshi. Kindly share the broadcast so that tuungane bonse, tupandane amano and tuasuke dili pusho. What are we going to do? So let me tackle the other matters before I come to that very difficult question that I've been avoiding every day. And I've been saying, you tell me. You are the callers, you tell me. But it clearly looks like this matter requires leadership. And I'm going to step in and provide my proposals. You may not agree with them, you may agree with them. But at the heart of it is that the Zambian is hurting, the Zambian is grieving. The UPND are telling us, move on, accept defeat, concede, and congratulate the president. And the answer is no. The answer is no. I have a proposal for you, and let's see what can be done with this proposal that I have. You can accept it, or you can reject it. You can refine it. You can modify it. You can perfect it. That's what we shall do. So let me just take a small commercial break, but kindly share the broadcast. We are answering that difficult question. I'll be coming with an update of where is Makebi Zulu and Brian Mundubile. I'm coming with that answer. The disgraceful conduct of the church yesterday, I'll come with that difficult answer. And
Wake up to this morning news analysis show that provide facts, opinions, and reflections. On what the papers say, we frame key facts to provide a balanced perspective, set the national agenda, and focusing on cross-referencing newspaper coverage with primary data, expert and special guests to offer an in-depth look at daily stories. Live on EMV, I'm talking about Emmanuel Mwamba Verified. Wake up to this morning news analysis show.
As I wait for my team, some people will be joining me. Like I stated, kindly share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. We are sharing a lot of powerful information on this broadcast. This morning program is power-packed with a lot of information, a lot of development that you should be given insights into what is happening to our country. I've been very hard on this man. He's the Chief Justice of the Republic of Zambia, is Mundubile State Council. He has a distinguished record before he became the Chief Justice of the Republic of Zambia. Since then, his name has dipped. People feel let down that he hasn't shepherded the judiciary to its lofty position and that the judiciary has become a lapdog of the executive. And with the decision by the president to appoint up to 100 judges in a period of 3 years, the judiciary has literally been neutered. It cannot function. It is a disgrace that is not standing up for the rights of our people, political and civil rights, like, rights. You saw what they did to destroy the Patriotic Front. You've seen how people were jailed unfairly, in many cases without evidence. Today, I was reading a tearful story of former Minister of Defense, Davis Chama. And Davis Chama has questioned, Davis Chama, who was our Minister of Defense, and I've used a picture. I saw his picture profile on his page. Is a picture I took. We were in Lesotho. We were visiting the Lesotho Highlands, which has a dam and power station which provides water for Gauteng. That's a profile picture that he uses. And but he's written a very emotional piece. He just obtained bail pending appeal last week, and he was released. Remember, he was jailed for many years. And I'll read just one paragraph. He says, I was in prison for 1 year and 10 days for the crime I never committed. It is alleged that I shot somebody on 6th of June 2015 in Mlowezi. In my entire life, I've never pointed a gun at any human being or an animal. I applied for my bail pending my appeal hearing last year in 2025. But as a result of your prayers and from many of you, I was finally granted bail by the Court of Appeal and subsequently released from prison pending my appeal. Now, people like Davis Chama went to prison because President Hakainde Hichilema chose that Chama will go to prison. I don't want to politicize his case. I was just moved by the statement he wrote on his page. Despite his innocence, he went to prison and has been in prison for 1 year, 10 days. That's a judiciary that Mundubile leads. And when the courts were closed, I was very hard on Honorable Mundubile. I just complained on behalf of Tonse Pamoze Alliance that the president has stolen this election. He has abused all the provisions of the charter on democracy, elections, and good governance. And I cited the charter that the president has flouted and defiled. One of them is that there should be no military presence at polling station or polling centers. They could be outside to help maybe with the policing, never in the totaling centers and counting centers. You saw the soldiers. You have witnesses, many of you, including members of LAS, who were monitoring elections. And the soldiers had no idea that these are lawyers, and they grabbed Gen 20s from them. And that was a picture in major cities. When it first happened, it started in Chilawombwe, where the soldiers stormed in and beat everyone, sent out monitors and party agents, and they scampered and they grabbed the Gen 20. You remember Makebi Zulu and the alliance leaders immediately called an alarm. As we were live on that program, we heard that Chingola was the same. And the catalogue began from Livingstone to Chipata to Solwezi. Soldiers were storming areas and changing results and grabbing the Gen 20. That is, the charter doesn't allow that. And it is very extensive. Number two, the judiciary. The judiciary should be allowed to resolve all the issues. Here, on that day, the judiciary was closed. But an announcement from one of the officials from the judiciary, and I was so strong on Mundubile, I even wrote an addendum to the earlier petition that was formally received by the African Union. But as facts are, the facts have emerged that very, very solid facts have emerged that the Chief Justice, when told to close the courts to prevent Brian Mundubile from filing his petition, he refused. He said those methods are crude. Let the file be petitioned and let the judges hear it. If it has no merit, it to be dismissed. So while we're very strong on this man, he's actually a hero. He refused. They went to the Deputy Musonda. The Deputy Chief Justice also refused. He says, these are crude methods. You can't close courts countrywide on the purported issue of security threats. They went to the Constitutional Court judge, Professor Munalula. She says it's not within my powers. The courts are run by the Chief Justice. And this man stepped in. And let's discuss him briefly. This is a man that stepped in and gave authority for the courts to be closed and for that communication to be done. This is Arnold Mwemba Shilimi. And I'm going to tell you a bit about him just in a moment. He's the deputy president of the Constitutional Court. It's not within his powers. It's totally outside his authority to have done what he did to close the courts.
Wake up to this morning news analysis show that provide facts, opinions, and reflections. On what the papers say, we frame key facts to provide a balanced perspective, set the national agenda, and focusing on cross-referencing newspaper coverage with primary data, expert and special guests to offer an in-depth look at daily stories. Live on ENV.
When Shilimi was appointed to the Constitutional Court in February 2023, there was a protest from lawyers. There was a protest from everyone. There was even a legal action against him. First, they said he was not qualified to be on the Constitutional Court because he has very little knowledge or practice around the constitutional law. He was a partner in a law firm called Mwansapiri Shilimi and Theo legal practitioners. If you look at the trail when he was appointed, he was among the 27 judges appointed at the time. But he was singled out that he was not qualified to even sit on the judge, let alone be deputy president. But in 2024, when President Hakainde Hichilema took the matter to court of Edgar Lungu, that Edgar Lungu was not qualified, you remember the petition by Edgar Lungu. He said, Justice Arnold Mwetwa Shilimi cannot sit on my case. He's a business partner of President Hakainde Hichilema. And a formal petition was put for the judge to recuse himself. A lot of you remember him for Incuriama, but Edgar Lungu said, Justice Arnold Mwetwa Shilimi is a business partner of the president. he cannot sit on my case because the president is my rival. If you remember that case, this is a man who ordered for the courts to be closed. We were pillorying, shouting at the Chief Justice on Mundubile. I have it on very firm ground that the 3 top officials of the judiciary refused. They said, you'll be defiling the country, you will leave a legacy that will haunt us. We're a respected judiciary, just not in Africa, in the world. We are among the top-ranked judiciary, whatever attacks they've suffered the last 5 years. Shilimi said no, told the young ladies that closed the courts. And here is another twist. To remedy the closure of the courts, 2 people filed electronically. Charles Longwe, who's been an activist and has been challenging the president, made record that his petition against election kept on bouncing. So he made electronic record that it keeps on bouncing so that he can use it in court, that we tried. The courts were closed, but I tried to file my petition, but it was bouncing because the online portal doesn't work. Linda Kasonde, former LAS president and, distinguished lawyer in our country and legal activist, remembered she had an email address of the Chief Justice and she filed it through him. And you saw a public statement by the Chief Justice that this is highly irregular, that a petition is being filed to my personal file. However, I, in my capacity as Chief Justice, using my administrative powers, I'm going to allow this petition and I'll take it to the Constitutional Court for consideration where Shilimi is. Shilimi was so annoyed. We understand both him and the president have accused the other judges of supporting the opposition. Just because he said, the Chief Justice said, they should hear and consider the matter. And I don't understand the politics they are playing. We've spent 5 years claiming that the judiciary belongs to Ichilema. Why is Ichilema afraid of his own judges? Why is Shilimi failing to hear the case? Why is Shilimi, we know they were probably going to dismiss the case. Why wouldn't they allow the process? If you're quiva, if you're fiava, even things within that you can manage, they couldn't contain it. So Shilimi again ordered another statement that was issued yesterday. And they stated that there is no petition before the court, despite the statement by the Chief Justice, which has not been withdrawn, which has not been recanted, which has not been dismissed. Many legal experts hold that the head of the judiciary is the Chief Justice. It's like the president. Imagine the president fires a permanent secretary, then the minister says no. The minister remains, the PS remains a PS, is not fired. Who should we listen to, the president or the minister? In this case, Mundubile has not withdrawn his letter. He contends a petition was received and he has surrendered it to the Constitutional Court. The Constitutional Court has an obligation to hear this petition. A mere correspondence, and in fact using funny letterheads, maybe even the people we are accusing of writing those letters, maybe have even not written the letters. Compare, just download just now before they begin to withdraw those letters. Just see the various addresses. I thought the judiciary has one address. Just check the various addresses. Each letter has its own addresses and details. In some cases, even the logos are different. You wonder if someone was manufacturing from this. And of course, in this entire process, it's a collusion of secretary to cabinet, which is a disgraceful conduct by Patrick Kangwa. Or we hold it that the petition by Linda Kasonde is rightly before the Constitutional Court. It has not been considered, it has not been heard, it has not been determined. The inaugurations becomes illegal because there is an active case for determination within the period of the 14 days. The action by Secretary to Cabinet to proceed to inauguration is totally illegal because the judiciary, through its head, has confirmed that there is an active petition before the Constitutional Court, and the 14 days has not lapsed. That petition has not been heard, has not been determined, has not been considered. You can't jump the process and go to inauguration. In light of this, the inauguration on 1st September on Tuesday is illegal. And these are our own rules as a country. Our country says if there's an active petition, you can't go to inauguration until the matters are resolved. And in fact, that's what the Charter on Governance and Elections and Good Governance says. You cannot proceed to inauguration before you resolve the outstanding legal matters in regard to the presidency. So mwe bantu bakwalesa mumbamalira twali mutuka twali mushoba tumweleleko. I think ngamulefu abakutukani uyu Shirimi uyu who said to be the business partner to the president, and Edgar Lungu raised that particular issue because the man sat on a board that was associated with the president. We come to the issue of Makebi Zulu. Where is Makebi Zulu and Brian Mundubile? Where are they? Where are the boys? Where are the boys? Well, let's come and discuss that matter.
I'm talking about Emmanuel Mwamba verified. Wake up to this morning news analysis show that provide facts, opinions, and reflections. On what the papers say, we frame key facts to provide a balanced perspective, set the national agenda, and focusing on cross-referencing newspaper coverage with primary data, expert and special guests to offer an in-depth look at daily stories. Live on EMV, I'm talking about Emmanuel Mwamba verified.
Yeah, Wadi Simon Kuipa. I hope it's his real name. He says, Emmanuel, you are contradicting yourself. Yesterday you said that the Chief Justice was put on a gunpoint and intimidated. That's why he changed his tune. If you're pano. I never said that yesterday. Other people have said that. I said what happened to him is a Skinner, the case of Skinner. And I said, you refer to what happened to Skinner. And I was not far from it. Yes, he was intimidated, but he hasn't withdrawn his letter. So thank you for watching Wadi Simon Kuipa, but your information is wrong. Mwinashitefe mwamfok social media mwafileta hapa. Etta Brown says, what's a rush? Can the petition be heard before the inauguration, please? That is a point. The Chief Justice received the petition, issued a public statement that the matter has been forwarded to the Constitutional Court for consideration and determination. Linda Kasonde, Brebna Changala are waiting because there is no other correspondence other than what the Chief Justice said. Okay, let's come to the issue of Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu.
Wake up to this morning news analysis show that provide facts, opinions, and reflections. On what the papers say, we frame key facts to provide a balanced perspective. Set the national agenda and focusing on cross-referencing newspaper coverage with primary data. Expert and special guests to offer an in-depth look at daily stories. Live on EMV, I'm talking about Emmanuel Mwamba Verified. Wake up to this morning news analysis show that provide facts, opinions, and reflections. On what the papers say, we frame key facts to provide a balanced perspective. Set the national agenda and focusing on cross-referencing newspaper coverage with primary data. Expert and special guests to offer an...
Yesterday, something happened and we need to follow this up. The United Nations is not allowed to do what they did yesterday. The Deputy Secretary General, the Secretary General, Guterres, sent a special envoy to discuss with President Hakainde Hichilema on the fate of Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu that had sought shelter and safety at the United Nations building. There was immense pressure given to Beatrice Muntali. Just a minute, let me take this call, it's very important.
In-depth look at daily stories. Live on EMV, I'm talking about Emmanuel Mwamba Verified.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to have solid confirmation of where Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu is, and I apologize. The live coverage and live programs are like that. Some information is so evolving that you have to make phone calls or request for updated information, and I'll give it to you shortly. Let's go back. I saw a talking head that is being used to attempt to rewrite what happened, because it's a soft voice, a woman, and therefore the facts may appear appealing to you. They are using a woman. I've ignored the narrative she put, but someone says, Emmanuel, you as an expert, you know that we never ignore information, right or wrong. And let me use this opportunity to attend to some of the lies that they've been peddling through that young lady. So, following the military raid on a civilian home belonging to Brian Mundubile, was it his home? Of course, Brian Mundubile said it was his safe home. He had moved his family from Olympia and moved them to that house in Kablonga on 212 Kudu Road for the very threats they were facing, and he didn't feel safe. And he has publicly said when he came on this program, and he said it on BBC, and he said it on Canal France International, and all the interviews that he has given. Brian Mundubile's assertions that he gave here, Mtotokafoya was shot. I was with my wife and my twins and their niece. Those facts have never changed. There was no one with a weapon at the premises. That fact has never changed. They've attempted to bring the issues of military-grade weapons, a total lie. Brian Mundubile asserted there was no one with weapons, not even his bodyguards. They've attempted to say the three commandos that were there are specialized personnel that a bodyguard should not have. Who have been bodyguards for President Hakainde Hichilema in the last 15 years? How many politicians use ex-soldiers and ex-policemen as their bodyguard? Come on. I don't know why we speak like we don't speak from And we have demonstrated here again and again that the three gentlemen who were retired by Shapwaya, the head of commander from is been literally jealous of these award-winning, highly decorated officers, and they sought to do commercial work. They've provided similar security services to President Hakainde Hichilema's own lawyer, Keith Mwemba, and to FAZ. And no one has disputed this fact. We have shown you the pictures. If it was the first time they were providing this service to Brian Mundubile maybe you could have questioned. So the facts that Brian Mundubile gave remain the same. If there's any story that has been consistent, it is the story. In fact, we said when the military raid came in, there was a white Range Rover. The white Range Rover, someone with a camera, then they took a bag and they came to the front porch of the house while they were being dragged and being beaten. These guys in a white Range Rover were busy with this bag and taking pictures. Various people among the 11 have told us that. So it was clear. It was an assassination mission. It was an assassination mission because they meant to take out Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu. And at that stage, Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu were, Brian Mundubile was leading in the pause. It was an assassination plot. No military guns. And about Mtoto Kafwaya, Mundubile kept on saying, they dragged us from upstairs. Mtoto Kafwaya was shot twice and he was bleeding profusely. Brian has never moved from those facts, and the facts vindicated him. Even when government began the cover-up, they attempted to cover up his arrest, that there was no such thing at his home. They attempted to cover up that that Mtoto Kafwaya was not taken to Maina Soko and was dead. You saw the 3 permanent secretaries. We always play that video in case you wish to forget, because sometimes we forget very, very clearly. After this military raid, and we blew the matter on social media, the world got alarmed. They gave phone calls to President Hakainde Hichilema to diffuse the tension that was boiling both in the diplomatic community and in the country. They decided to release Brian Mundubile. And they took him to his house, the same house they had just conducted the shooting. And remember what he said, they had turned everything upside down and took money and other valuables that were in the house. He was taken back by the same people to his home, and he drove out with his Mercedes with his wife, because, they were with the wife and the 3 kids. And the first person he called was my show, and I was live. There was just this persistent call for 5-10 minutes. I decided to answer, and there was Brian Mundubile. And contemporaneously, without preparations and research, he stated the facts as they had just occurred an hour before. And if you play that, Brian told the truth, because the facts that he stated have never been mutated in any way. Unlike government, that has been changing story. When there was that raid and Brian Mundubile gave that detailed interview on this program, the following day, the 3 PSs went to Maina Soko, and Secretary to Cabinet issued a text to all phones in Zambia that there are no militias in Zambia, that there are no shooting in Zambia, there are no abductions, and ignore anyone that is saying that there have been shootings. Yet they had killed Mtoto Kafwaya. His body was lying lifeless in Maina Soko. Yet they had, done what they had done to Brian Mundubile, and they had rounded up Bishop Trevor Mwamba and George Sanga, Patrick Mwansa, and the other 8. They were lying. You have that message. Share it on the thread. Share it. The one that the Secretary of Cabinet issued to all the phones in Zambia. When that same day, we began to say Mtoto Kafuaya is feared dead, because Mtoto Kafuaya shot by a commando at short range, 2 bullets, and the description of Brian Mundubile that he was bleeding profusely. There is just no way Mtoto Kafuaya would have survived. And the period they took to take him to hospital, and to Ambo Kumfamangwingu of what happened at Maina Soko, it was very clear that he had died. But we are responsible. We didn't declare the death here, even when we knew the truth. And for 5 days, the declaration of his death did not occur. It took Mrs. Mtoto Kafuaya to take a court action in the High Court, habeas corpus, bring the body to court, alive or dead. And you saw the UPND go to town from Mao Sampa to Oliver Shalala, everyone mocking Mrs. Kafuaya, including Charity Mwanza. In an arish, but you've heard the audio and who played. They didn't understand that she knew that her husband had died, but they were hiding for 5 days, and she wanted the court to compel them to release the body. And then you saw that late night interview. I was live here, and I was just elated that government has confirmed that Honorable Mtoto Kafuaya had died. And it was so moving, even if I had known 5 days earlier that Honorable Mtoto Kafuaya had died. When the confirmation came, it hit me like Mtoto Kafuaya, Honorable Mtoto Kafuaya just died. You remember on this, we took a break for about almost 10-15 minutes. And I went and wore a black shirt, and then I came and continued with the program. And when they were doing that, the family is very annoyed. When they were doing that, they had told the family to come to Maina Soko, and they hadn't confirmed. So when he was saying the family has identified Patrick Kangwa, the family has identified the body, they had not identified. They read in shock the message that he had identified the body. They had not. They were still at Maina Soko from 17:30 up to 22:30. Mrs. Mtoto Kafuaya was so traumatized she didn't go in, but the brothers went in and identified the body. Almost 3 hours after Patrick Kangwa had lied that the family have identified the body. The facts are so many. On Sunday, the threat was there when they realized that Makebi Zulu was alive, was not in the entourage, and that Brian Mundubile he was not taken out. The threat was even more active. That evening, a distress call came that they had taken the unprecedented action to go to the United Nations. And just that same night, some commandos surrounded the UN and were ready to storm and extricate them. We feared here on this program that Zambia will have crossed another red line. They've crossed so many red lines, killing a former minister in cold blood, to a compound where there was no one who was armed, and they wanted to plant ammunition, that there were people that had ammunition on the compound. We are glad that whoever finally wisdom prevailed, they didn't storm the UN compound. And their media news diggers began to mock Mundubile Makebi seek refuge at the UN building. You saw the story. The following day, the UN resident coordinator, Mama Beatrice Mutali from Kenya, who's been with us for the last 3 years, her term had come to an end, and they had told her that she should go only after elections, wanted to say her farewells. And we understand State House was so annoyed that the UN had allowed Brian Mundubile and Makebi to go there. They were there for safety. They feared for their lives. They had just lost one of their colleagues. And the trauma of, over 100 soldiers, army commandos, storming your private civilian residence, storming and, doing what they did. It was good that Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu went to. We don't know where they would have been by now if they didn't go. into the United Nations building. But what has happened? What has happened is that the UN on Sunday, the UN resident coordinator, the outgoing, did a wonderful thing. She said, I will not determine this matter. I'll refer it to New York. I came and announced here that New York was sending a special envoy on behalf of the Secretary General to come and resolve that issue. The UN can never surrender you, especially if you are facing charges like they are facing that might send you to death penalty. They can never surrender you to the police or to authorities. So here is how the church have come in to launder that process. Some selected people have come in from the church who are now to receive Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu, then surrender them to the police. Because the UN can never surrender people seeking refuge or safety to those authorities that are seeking to kill them, where they fear that they may not have justice, where they fear that they may be tortured. The UN can never do that. So in its record, how this matter has terminated, the UN is going to say, we gave it to their own church. The church and those leaders are executioners in this matter. They've played the role to surrender Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu to the police. And I have not been kind. I've said the church have played the role of executioner. When the church...
Reflections on what the papers say, we frame key facts to provide a balanced perspective, set the national agenda, and focusing on cross-referencing newspaper coverage with primary data, expert and special guests to offer an in-depth look at daily stories. Live on EMV, I'm talking about Emmanuel Mwamba Verified.
So I'm trying to ascertain for certainty when I pronounce where Makebi Zulu and Brian Mundubile are. It is where they are. And you have to hold on just on that fact. But let's explore the other facts, and I'll tell you shortly. Because we are not verified news for nothing. We truly have to verify, and I bother to do that. And so the church, those men of God who participated in this process, their role should have been to dissuade the president, to encourage the president to be a president and drop these charges. Everyone has seen how fake these charges are. And to encourage the president to begin the journey of healing. Everyone should have, persuaded, those men of God should not have played the role of executioner. Go in the place of trust and then surrender Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu to the police and clean the UN, who've done such a shabby job. And I write letters and I'm going to complain about that. Because for them, they are supposed to have surrendered Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu to... When one is unwilling, you don't give them up. If one says, I fear for my life, I fear for my safety, we don't give them up like they did. So what they should have secured is either a safe passage for them to go out of the country until they can feel safe enough, or to another embassy. That's international law. So what happened there is totally strange, and we'll explore it. I'll bring someone who's detailed in this matter, and we are going to discuss it, and I'll personally explore it. So the church, those members of the church, and we need to name and shame them. Let's identify them. Do you know any of them that participated in there? They're trying to put up a list. But let's name and shame them. What they did, the role they played, is that a role of executioner. And Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu have since gone through interrogations. Their lawyers, Chifumu Banda, Bonaventure Mtale, and Sakwiva Scotta were present when they were being interrogated over this same military. The whole thing is lying around the four boys that were sent to Russia. And you know that story in itself was planted by the state on them. And because they were too busy in the campaigns, they didn't consult some of us. We're going to tell them, that's a plant on you. They're going to use it against you in the postal electoral process. So the young people should not have been sent to Russia. It's just a no-go area. You shouldn't have done that. But, you know, the Tonse Pamosi Alliance was so infiltrated. It was leaking and leaking and leaking. On the military raid, Lieutenant Geoffrey Chongo Ziele, someone says, why are you calling him corruption accused? He is corruption accused. It's not my investigations. It's the investigations of the Anti-Corruption Commission. He received $300,000 in relation to a hospital that Zambia is purchasing for Central African Republic. And this information came from the supplier that they had hired from Kenya. And the supplier was fighting with his fellow directors. And they disclosed that to Kenyan media what had happened and which monies were sent where. It was not in the Zambian media, it was in Kenyan media. And lucky enough, transparency, the Financial Intelligence Center picked it up, picked the 300,000, and the SEC began active investigation. They even issued a statement. They were investigating the Deputy Army Commander and 3 permanent secretaries. And when they were about to move into pounds, he was promoted as Zambia Army Commander. And I told you the story that in the military circles is not respected because of his role in May 2000. There was a mission called UNAMISIL, the United Nations mission in Sierra Leone. And Zambia had sent in troops. You know, we are very big on peacekeeping. And Ziele was a major then, and he was second in command, and he was leading the Zambian troops. And our soldiers came under attack. They were surrounded by rebels. They were disarmed, and they were taken hostage. And Ziele ran for his life. Now, commander never leaves his troops. It's better a commander is held. The revolutionary United Front at the time got our soldiers. It took a lot of diplomatic negotiations to get our 200 soldiers, 300 soldiers back. The two should be held accountable for a military raid and military assault on a civilian, a leading presidential candidate, and you have no care that there are children in there, that there's a woman, the wife there, and you kill an innocent Mutotwe Kafwaya, former cabinet minister. Let's go to, we hold on. I'm just waiting for one confirmation on where Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu. The lawyers are there, and as soon as I get the confirmation, I'll tell you where they are. Where I say they are is where they will be. And let's go to the issue. I said we need to answer that question. We need to answer that question. You've been asking, what do we do? I have an answer for you. It's my proposal. You can get it, you may not get it, but I have a proposal.
Wake up to this morning news analysis show that provide facts, opinions, and reflections. On what the papers say, we frame key facts to provide a balanced perspective, set the national agenda, and focusing on cross-referencing newspaper coverage with primary data, expert and special guests to offer an in-depth look at daily stories. Live on EMV, I'm talking about Emmanuel Mwamba Verified. Wake up to this morning news analysis show that provide facts.
So, family, here we are. Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu now remain detained on trumped-up charges of treason and insurrection. These charges are false. We've demonstrated that they are false, and everyone says they are false. They've been attempting to say military-grade weapon, no, Russia. The evidence is so thin, and it doesn't hold any water. And the election was stolen. You had soldiers storm totaling centers. You have bogus results like the one I keep on showing you. You have these bogus results. There are now 32 seats. You need to get TIZ report and EU report. There are 32 seats that show just to the extent they've totaled up to 1.8 million votes allocated to President Hakainde Hichilema irregularly. And we saw Kalufyanya trash your votes, thousands of your votes, throw them in the sewer. We saw his other group in Kanyama, Bamboko Ntama votes yabantu. People who woke up at 03. People who stayed on the queue. These thugs just came and got the votes. Your votes, they've never been counted. Your votes were thrown in the sewer line in Matero, Ililanda, and in Chaisa. And an election has been stolen. You are so civil. Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu are so civil. That's why the military issue doesn't stick. They decide to petition. You close the courts. And we spent time demonstrating that the courts were closed by State House with Shilimi. What do you do? He's on his way to be inaugurated through a stolen vote. And this is what you do. Let me read just a few things. I put them on paper. When a system becomes oppressive, challenging it and resisting is no longer just a choice. It becomes a moral obligation and duty. When a government becomes systematically despotic, here, they are killing innocent people, killing Mtoto Kafwaya. It becomes our right and our duty to replace such a government. And I think that's what our people tried to do. They voted this government out. When injustice becomes law, challenging it and resisting it becomes a duty. When a government or its laws abuses human rights, disrespects the rule of law, ignores the Constitution, it becomes your duty, to fight that status quo, to restore democracy, to restore your rights. When the government uses force to oppress our people, silence in such circumstances becomes complicit. And you've heard many stories about complicity. This is not a matter you stand on the fence. They are telling you move on. But you have a right to express yourself. Your petition, they've refused for your petition to be heard. Either a People's Action one by Linda Kasonde and Charles Longwe, or one by Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu. What do you do? Many of you have been saying, let's protest. Let's discuss that. There is nothing wrong with protesting. It's your inherent constitutional right to protest, to demonstrate, to picket, to march. These rights are enshrined in the Bill of Rights. So you are not doing anything illegal. It is your fundamental right provided in the Constitution to picket, to demonstrate, to protest, to march, to express yourself. These are inherent rights in the Constitution. We are not speaking outside the law. They've painted a picture that when you protest, it will be riotous. Who told them that? Why would the Constitution provide for violence? The Constitution would not. When you demonstrate, they want to put it that you'll be destroying public property and people's goods. Who told them that? The Constitution cannot provide for violence. When you protest, when you demonstrate, when you picket, when you march, they say you'll be killed. Who told them that? Which army, which constitution gives a right to the army or the police to kill you because you wish to express yourself? Such a soldier, such a policeman, or cadres will be breaking the law and will be held accountable. So yes, let me say it, you have a right to protest the results. You have a right to protest the storming of polling centers and your results being changed. You have a right against this is it pronouncing an illegal candidate who's been allocated up to 1.8 million false votes. You have a right to protest. And these protests should never be violent, should never be riotous. They should be peaceful. And what can you do? Number one, maybe to at every 17 hours, that's a protest. That's also a demonstration and expression of disapproval. Maybe per Friday, don't fall black. That is a protest. Whenever you have a demonstration, Kuyapa Street. Maybe pana 19 hours zero wa mayovale na yobwadi. Wonse tuambo kulisha amapani ne mpoto. Po konse kotuli. That's a demonstration. That's a protest. That's picketing. There are methods that can still remain safe for you, but you can make it very abundantly clear to the president and the authorities that the path they've taken is against our democracy, the path they've taken is against the rule of law, the path they've taken is injuring our constitution. You can do that. So, kutitu asala, nga tuleshita honk every 17 hours. Tufaya wiso, nga tawa kwa tamotu kakufaya wiso. Pa 17 hours, walisha wiso. Nga na ukwata moto, ngoli panjinga walisha belo. 17 hours, for 10 minutes. Ngoli moto ka you honk at 17 hours. To tell the public, to tell the authorities that they are wrong. And there is a matter that the whole world is studying. What happened in Iran? What happened in Iran is, for those that, if you've studied the art of war, for those the educated ones, those that are philosophical in approach, if you've studied the art of war, there are various strategies on how to win war. But in fact, just everyone. Because even in the Bible, there are many, many military tactics. And we did civics, cow's horn. So there is something that the whole world and people who do military strategies are looking at Iran. So the America and Israel conducted what is called a decapitation strike. So this strike, a single strike that took away the supreme leader, all his entire cabinet, all his military commanders, all his military intelligence commanders, all the top team. That's a decapitation strike. You take off the head and the body falls. But Iran did not fall. Iran, despite that, what we call a decapitation strike, like what they've done in Zambia, they take out all your leaders, your top leaders, and throw them away. So there's that, everyone is studying, how come Iran didn't fall against the United States, yet the US had done what is called the decapitation strike? Why? Iran learned from previous wars with Iran, with Israel, that the nation must survive without the leaders. And they devolved the layers of instructions. So it doesn't matter who you take out, the actions will be done. Makebi Zulu and Brand Mundubile are lying in prison today. You are still calling for a leader to lead you. No. Everyone is a leader. Everyone should know what to do. In this case, is to protest and demonstrate against what has happened, against the incarceration of your leaders, against a stolen election, against all this. You don't need any instruction. Nga mawiso pa 17 hours, once tufaya mawiso, vuvuzela, na huta. Nga impoto pa 19 hours, once pa 19 hours before the news, tuwalishe mpoto mayanda, na ku state house bala umfuati mpoto na ashirira kuli bala, kuchipata compound, kwa mandevu. Pa 17 hours awantunga wale komboka, mwalisha mahuta, na mawiso, na mavuvuzela, nemi insoli. You begin to protest. Umusoja alasa kuikatile pesa ngolelishe mpoto we mwini. Umusoja alasa kuikatile pesa ngolelisha wiso. Because they want to tell you that when you demonstrate, you are rioting and you are destroying public property. No. No. You should never destroy any public property. No protest should result into riots. No. The Constitution has not provided for violence like I was telling you. So, bale mitinya nefi, because they expect you to be violent. They expect you to be violent, and they expect you to bend things. Hawe mwiyocha nangu chimo. All demonstrations, all protests as provided by our Constitution must be peaceful. So the mass demonstration, mass protest must be peaceful, never degenerate to violence. So when I take the phone calls, I want to understand what proposal should we take? Which one do you like most? When do we start? Today? Ukulisha mawiso, na mauta, ne mpoto pa 19 hours. Mwalanje when you call. But mitinya twala mipaya. No, the law doesn't allow the policeman to kill you. Why would they kill you if you are demonstrating peacefully? And there's another matter which I learned from South Africa. Bachitanga bale chita protester, bala sendo tutambalo tuwa womba, or a cloth that is wet. When the police throw the tear gas, kuya kupikilapo. Notakuri kubutuka, because ngamabutuka kutiwa mishuta. When the police come, once more ikala punch. Because it's a peaceful protest. Which policeman is going to run over innocent, peaceful people? But police, when they throw a tear gas, they will shoot you. You don't do that. Ngabalasa tear gas. Ibumabula ida tear gas na menshi na ngumulika mwaitilap. And don't run away, because if you run away, you are giving them excuse to shoot you. So there are many peaceful ways of demonstrating. KK, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King perfected the art of civil resistance, civil disobedience, peaceful protest without violence. Even when they become violent, you don't respond by violence. No. You follow what Mahatma Gandhi said, you follow what KK did, you follow what Martin Luther King did. Peaceful protest. So you are allowed to protest peacefully. I said it today on this program. Let's look for Makebi Zulu and Brand Mundubile, and the lines will be open. I'm supposed to have two guests. I don't know where they are, but Chandakazia sought permission, is very busy. And but Augustine was coming from the airport. He's supposed to join us. But they are not yet in. So, family, let me look for Makebi Zulu, and then we open the phone lines. You tell me which protest method we should follow, and when do we start?
Opinions and reflections. On what the papers say, we frame key facts to provide a balanced perspective, set the national agenda, and focusing on cross-referencing newspaper coverage with primary data, expert and special guests to offer an in-depth look at daily stories. live on EMV. I'm talking about Emmanuel Mwamba Verified.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I had no sound. I'd muted because I was making a phone call. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes, I'm from Galway. I'm from Galway, but I will remain anonymous.
Yes.
Yes. So as the person protesting, as for me, I'm going to buy a whistle. Every time I'm coming back from work, I'll be blowing a whistle. I think for us who doesn't have cars, we've got bikes. I think once we are riding, it's going to be a perfect smash for the protest. I think this is what I can say for now.
Thank you. Imo mwala chitawiso, yo mwa chitawino. Pa 17 hours ku blowing a whistle.
Yes. Every time I'm coming back from work, I will be blowing a whistle until I.
Yeah, we are back.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry, I muted myself. I'm so sorry, but I hope I'm loud and clear and you can hear. I muted because I needed to make the calls to the people on the ground. I have confirmation to where brand Mundubile and Makebi Zulu, and I'll be telling you just shortly. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, Ambassador. Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, Voice of Copperbelt here.
Yes, Voice of Copperbelt.
For me, I would like to ask you to speak to the issues of those three gentlemen who were cornered at the airport. Those people were sent to go and train in Russia to take care of the security issues of the VVIP. When are you going to start mentioning the name of that plant? That person was planted by the government as an intelligent officer to advise wrongly our president and Makebi Zulu to send the three gentlemen to Russia to train actually.
I named him. You haven't been following up.
Oh, no, I think I must have missed it. Please, if you can mention him again.
Okay, I will do, and then I'll mention the three.
Yeah. Please, I'll appreciate it. That's what I wanted to add. Thank you, bye.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
It's Caroline, East London.
Yes, Caroline.
Yes. Mwa ikarashani ba mwempanu mesu ba mwamba.
Endita.
Yeah. Inende for afyokweba ifkwema na Zambia. Please, we to feel many times I don't like even to speak English because I want to speak my language so that everybody they must understand what's going on. Often therefore kweba na Zambia. Tufire twaposa kwa amano. This is our democracy. Takulina ngumo uingatulwila. Democracy yesu ni fwebu ifine balanda ngani pa 5 o'clock we must do pa 5 o'clock ukulalisha amapeo ichi ni chonsepe ichakupanga echongo ichakweba ati bamone ati ichalo chishi bati ifafo batitafiwene. It's not too late na ngifyo ukupokolola ababene ba president wesu chalinga tuwaya kuda tuwaya bapokolola nokulaenda no tusalu utwa nani kane utwa bomba ne fisalu ifya bomba na makontena fya matulita umuli amenshi in case because kumwe squad cover in case ikisalo cho sendele chauma ama tulita ya amenshi to make sure that ichalo chaishi but we are not happy ama election yaba ivirefye ifenga tatwaluishe ukwebati ichalo chishibe because ifenga twamba okupange chongo ichalo chingengira mwati ushechinchitire chitika nomanga na twikalafye tapadi fili fyonse finga bomba alo inachombwene fe baba mwamba ichikulu fwema Zambian bafire batusambisha lawyers we need to know our rights Talk to ishibe because echo baletina ni mfuti nombe mfuti obaletina ushebale bashuta ukuluisha ukulanda. We mustn't just keep quiet. We must just fight for this battle. It's for us.
Thank you very much. Ekayaba ngibaishi bathi ngakushta demonstrations kuba violent hawe bane tatulelande fyama riots ifya kutobe fintu hawe te demo nanguira demo ilandaba lumendo paunza atuchaye poka viva bamukutoba ama window nama motoka ku Greatest Road. No, we are saying peaceful. If you are Mahatma Gandhi, if you are Kenneth Kaunda, that's what we have to do. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Mkwai.
Bamwambeo ngamona nanguleso narashita wiso einga babwine kabirefo ningachinkulako nabena Zambia bonse ero mwamono munenu alisha wiso kana alisha wiso ine urelanda pa mo mfire mwaisa kundishe wiso wambo kwenda chapamo ye akulalishe mpoto ndemona teti bombe sana ni suggestion but ngoli mungandolelishe mpondo yala moneka kwata ole tontonga nyabwino so kulisha kushita fya mawiso ikatwalisha mawiso mufipanda monse twaima wonse parapene twakolonga
tulelisha mawiso nshtanshi
amawiso ile kwa tulelisha kwamba 17 ukuya pantansha ukuya kambakali mbi at 19 in fact chama tuamba 16
elo amawiso tukambaliradi ukulisha amawiso na mahuta tufire tuamba lero lino
okay kabiringa tuamba okulalo lero kwebati Einstein tubali amukitana integration ishofe ya force Einstein tufire tuamba lero lino problem kwebena Zambia nabatupera ko penalty natusangalo kwebati nshire ismeyo twinga bombya no tukoya mufyongo wiso ngali sho munove mwaya bonse mwakolo
nao watula nao walishawiso
kwa
ati nao watula walishawiso na iwe
walishawiso ina in fact bamwambefi ntundela ndawiso na alikwataka so nalambo kulishawiso lero chondero mbachakwe bati ero tuambo kulisha mawiso not for example in England kukasama kuno nambo kulishawiso ero kurusa kabekerezi kurusa kana kwena bafire bambo kulisha mawiso ndiramwa kokwe bati ukasamo aledi shawiso na ifo kuno kurusa katwambyo kulisha mawiso tule imina chapamo not tukula imapa nono ero chimbecho ndefo kulanda bamwambo you see awano it's like what they will control government because yesterday ali ambukula aliranda pali moba mwamba bali chita inside abantu kweba tibeme so mwe makadazi na mwe baba UPN ndi consequent muri mweme but ena alera bokweba tina ale chita inside flapine and this awano ale bombana ba government abale tungurura pali no chitamamo so na ifo bene makadazi bonse kunbala makadazi wime kuledisha mawiso ngefe balandire bamwamba lwati munshire ibi walisha mawiso twaima muwingi lwati kulalekero muntumo ero wamono muntumo nobe aledisha wiso lwati wamona kwa tinafulunga dayo abapatati palapene aledisha wiso kaye ntu apange chigundi so ine bamwamba kwamba 16 dalalisha wiso batecho ndeka birandebo kwebati pano pa location pantu ndinga nambo kulisha wiso mwebena location consequent mulinga mulima yanda mugire mwanjoina twambo kulaendera chapamo kuledisha mawiso takwatana mutemi itu kwacha free kwacha wiso tete tungafiro kushitaba ndimwe bachikwete neni ngwataka
ero na mweba minso ali mwali na wiso mulaichila Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Uh-oh, we lost the caller. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes, Mwamba, Anonymous.
Yes, Anonymous.
From Chingona.
Yes, Anonymous.
Mwamba, ichalo abantu nga tulelanda chile muna kwati tatuishi beva tulelanda. Elo kailioko tuleya. Nacho chavanga ni mumushi mwaikala mulindoshi bale bati abanindoshi ngole bapokolola. Akapuishi okuikata bonse bali abantu kubalya. Chikesa konkapo akalofu ayo kwa kulya ni nani akalowa na iwo wine. Ivyo tuikele na mchalo chesu. Bala bonsa baleta support abateme n'omulandu wa chuma ichirefu moku bapela abatiyo imwe tampeni okulande vya Guinness kuli ababa neno nge mutu mwene ntungulu shisha likufofula nchosho kwaji ukwenda na Mundubile ilero shambo kupilibuka bela bo kutira one day ngapa na munyine fo umo wa kwele yoko mwaya bubutukire tapapi tena 5-6 months ala isanga mu wafiriri inefeso ichalo tachiri bwino lekeni tubomvya amawiso bonse muchalo chesu kutampo okulisha bantu ichiripo ichalo chabipa ichalo chakwatenkala mwishingi isho ichitemeno olupia kuchiro kutemwe ichalo chabo bantu muri chino ichalo tete tuikali ama election twakwete mutampa pena kulika unda mutu wakwete one party state tatu ataliri atuvota popali umusango tuvotere mauno mwaka pati kwali vyo one party state tapali vechula baba no muntu ifimvulunganya tapali ile lotu wa mone vintu vyambo kuchitika vyale to mwenso uko tuleya le safinga tatu afuna fwebe nyoku ikoselesha ndeme wa mwamba na patulelanda pali vi tunshi pamieno ngani muno muchalo chesu tatu wakalelanda pa polisi balikuwa tibale bomfeshiwa kukano ukonka mafunde yabo ama soja bachiri bale bomfeshiwa kwa buloko nka mafunde yabo mwebana bonse mweba fyashi beso bali mu muri shinchito bombeni nga abantu abale bombele cyalo no cyabale bombero omuntu umo bamwamba nachireto omwenso ala abantu nabakalipa nomba bale umfu omwenso bantu omwenso bakwete wakumona okutirangana chitevi bala nchipaya bantu abengi nabakakwa kairi bayikatwa kuri government ukutamba vyopo yaishira evintu vyabomba almost 100% kuka kama politician nokuka kaba kairi abalelanga pachinga teve tuteke chalo evi lesa twafweni mchalo chesu cha Zambia na totela.
Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Ambassador Mashukenuko ni Alex.
Yes, Alex.
Ambassador, protest is a way of expressing ourselves, more especially when the government is not doing the right thing. And I'm urging all Zambians who voted, those people who came out in large numbers, those people who protected their votes, those people who were attacked on their way to cast their votes, to protest. Independence of Zambia was so costly that people along the way lost their lives. But in this time of the day, if people come together and protest, I think we will achieve. Even that's when other international community.
What should people do? Their proposals, honking, hooting. What is your proposal?
Ambassador, if we can do the horning, those people who can do the horning with those who have got cars, let them do the horning at a certain given time. Those people who can do the whistle, I don't think everyone will do the horning. I don't think everyone will do the whistle because others don't have whistles. Of course, it's cheap, but others don't have cars. They cannot do horning. So on this platform, like you have rightly put it, we will come up with the idea to say, and now the ideas are going. Others who are comfortable to wear black, they'll wear black. We saw it in, I don't know which year was that. Others those who want to do the whistle, do an import, they will do that. But, sir, we have to protest, or else our democracy is gone. And this is the only time that we have to rise and defend it. no any other time apart from this, because this man he knows that he has been trying it all this time, trying to put fear, trying to do so that now everyone, even those who are vying to become president or any portfolio, they'll shine away. They'll think of doing this thing. If Makebi was arrested, try to redeem us, and believe they're in jail today. So we have to stand together and protect our land.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes, I'm calling you from Lusaka.
Yes.
I just wanted your 1 and 2 on the remains of Honorable Kafuaya. Are there not supposed to be evidence in this dubious treason case that these guys are pursuing? Because to my understanding, his body will actually expose a lot of things as to how this whole thing was carried up, especially that they're claiming that he could have fired. Because the videos would have remained on his outfit and on his personal self. With what we're hearing that they got rid of his clothes and other things, that should actually that actually should wash out this whole pathetic case they're bringing about. So I don't know if there's any way his remains can be secured for our case on this pathetic charge that they've leveled against our leaders. So I don't know if you can explain a little bit on that, and just to see how they can secure his remains. Because his remains actually are the actual case on this treason issue.
Indeed. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Oh, it keeps on cutting. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Endita.
Atwatotera bachanda pakamwe pano nangu tulumbula mashina choke bamwamba wesu kwena ifefe muletweva tuletota pamashu yonse omuleni eyo mulela ndakuchalo na fyonse efe muletu panda mano fife bulusasa. So nomba question yanjako bati nomba bushe kuti wachitafe wiso then wayole pita weka na nguti wabako vanga abantu
ofena nguweka pa 17 hours ngayalira fyenchita wachita wiso pa 17 hours.
Pa 17 hours wachitafika wiso wayole kati alishape
kabiri kutuma imbira kuba nenu bonse mwalishi bana mwali wa WhatsApp mwalanda bane kulimbira ya mushi pa 17 hours bane kulisha mawiso kulisha mimfioli
atinde ya mustawa sukia nomba bamwamba wesu nombe finga chako bati intungulishe suka fafika mwachalo ndola bashitwala ifile bala ashita kunokuka ku prison usheni shida petition yala imakana takwa bena ngufile yabako ero futi petition futi again ama evidence yo tukwete efingi munomukabwe pali lali yaba Patrick Chala bali tulapo muntu ilinso ikesta pana ngukumweko yaya mulamva bamwamba wesu bali kontolo umuntu ukuwoko batapali kesi konseko yaya abantu abachitefyo tulina bena muno mukomboniso tuletangala na bena so ama evidence tukwete pamonga batonsa la nzako batutwa wina kesi ngachako batya koti vingi sana then ngachafuma bushe babomba la tukwata ku access inga ko batinangu to aku international criminal court pali stage twafikira.
Okay, you're nalaya suka. Okay, thank you.
Wala sukai.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Mwashuke nwa mwamba never anonymous mkwai. Ne audience ndanda nati mwe bantu bakwalesa hooting. So if mwalanda na umfa bwino sana. Abashikwete ama motoka bali shama wiso abashikwete ama motoka bali shemi nsoli aba umefira fine abana kashinga tabakwete tabaishibo kuri shomu nsoli tabakwete na wiso bambo kulo kwaula fyotu pundu abama motoka it's a must fira fine bahootinga bali bachiruba it worked and the message reached Bachiruba. Even now Got what hooting the fact from 17 hours in to 17:10, somewhere there, the message will go. It will go. A contribution I submit.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller. Mkwai. Nimwebani Mkwai.
Mwamba Ibamunkonge.
Mkwai Bamunkonge.
Mwamba tetishire palifi mwalanda. Uyo muntu o chikalipe uwasunge chikonko pakuvota votere takwete ferenga chita nga wafiro ukulisha wiso na ngukulisha uta ni nshita wate mwecharo cha Zambia tapali ubusanso buli wonse oroba ambassador ndechi takona encourage abene bambya ama musicians abo mumone aba nenu aba pamura ndufye wakuchita entertain campaign tapaba nefi aishibikwa na my elections yafikira mufi abena Chester na wa EDC imwe bene mwe ma musician na comedians kuma community ko mwaikara shitireni abantu amawiso nanguta mwishire pa open pantu mwenso wali mingira kale oro chimbyo cho ndesta ko encourage ba mwamba sande ni ura bushiku bwa pasande tukafuare break na yena it's a part of demonstration oro ture akuma chechi wonse tukafuare if you have break any style muri break oro le chechi ukuranga demonstration na yena country wide to it to encourage ukwewa tfwe bantu ama churches yara afuara fefi akufuara kaina tufuara kona nguma topu ya break lero kwamba lero wonse tuweshe okushito tuma wiso na mwe bene mwe bashitisha ama wiso no mbapa titeni advertise ama wiso ayo yende wiso it's too kwacha ama wiso kwali bana aya nono aya bana timwashita as long as ni wiso ngayafika fye pa 17 hours urefu makunchito warabonse abarefu makumachito wali shama uta pakoya kumayanda chamberero bamwamba nangu tatwafure fwe barachitefi mairo 17 hours tukafura tapare fo tuingachita because ngamwa direct mu street wali ingisha kare abapara bakarufyanya waramingisho mwenso pako bati mu state demonstrate so twambe nama uiso ayo pantu uiso tapare fo arachita oro no kufare cha break pa Sunday tapare umuntu fenga meba ma Sunday countrywide tukafare fo break ukuranga ifyo turusungire mu mitima pantu abantu imitima shari kalipa nefinto fo twapitamu namu mwana nemfwa yaba kafwa nefinto firechitika tefya kufisama nefyo family iredira family bayarera ndamaroko batu mwebena Zambia tuafweni fo twachepa fyonse fyo mwafara ko break ukuchita protest pa finto firechitika mucharo ifishiri wino muchitikisha ero bambi ba ambassador abantu shayishimo fyo baba bamwa patene pamo platform waresa berera ndoko batiyo bamwamba mukabwere siya wanu koko aikara ku Nigeria ko chonso fya aranda firechitika mu Zambia aikara okutari ko arere to mu Zambia bati bamwamba barere to busuma mu Zambia birebe mina kushebali mirowa nangu cyabashani no mwabura bamwamba na basiya wanu mababikapa ure ona ure charo ni nani bati muresa pa platform pale bamwamba uresa mukulemba kushebali mirowa nangu cyabashani lesaka mikanda mukapokerero fyo mubyara mushikuma mukasongora nefine firechitika it will come to pass. I submit bamwamba.
Thank you very much. Let's hear from you. 17 hours hooters and honks and whistles, 17 hours. Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Mr. Mamba, I'll decide to remain anonymous.
Yes.
My contribution, we are taking a long path. Iyo bamwambia kweba ati twambe okulisha mawiso twambe okuchita shani we are just delaying ourselves and that will not even
make your proposal my brother ni pansaka iwala ndapo nawe chiri kumutima
ine chiri kumutima chakutira it's better we just go into the streets. We don't spoil anything. We need to be seen, we need to be heard. If that can be done better than even doing the whistles, otherwise we are wasting time.
Iwe kanshi wambe okuya mu street apoli ushite wiso pa 17 hours mulongane peacefully muye mulisha mawiso. Don't dampen what others are trying to do. Now you express yourself in the manner you can. So in any data proposal, because we have to maintain peace even in our protest. Peace is very important. The enemy takes advantage that you want to break down public order. So that is why I'm emphasizing that all processes must be peaceful, so that you don't give the enemy an opportunity to come and harm our people. So I'm not focused on protest, it has to be peaceful. In that peaceful should hold. Okay? Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. This caller is not coming on. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Ambassador Mwumbe, John Mabo.
Mkwaiba Mabo.
Ambassador, I hope you kwena.
Yole Salet Sunga.
Awe mwarikosa ambassador, emotional intelligence yenu is top class.
Awe, le Salet Sunga.
Mkwaiba mbama bimbi ya repitamo, and you being a you've worked in diplomacy. Ichalo Cheso ambassadors had a very reputable name in Africa. If you visited, for example, Thailand before 2021 ambassador, you know when you stand at Papa Customs, whether Niku Bangkok or Phuket or airport, yeah. When you stand, last time I went there, first time 2017, who are Kenyan? After I am turn customs, my documents, you have my yellow papers, they whisked him hard. It was a woman to interrogation room. In an passport, Tava is Rena language, so at Zambia, welcome, no ambassador. Last time, night ago 2023, after China, Pitako, a same treatment, you have a periodum Kenyan, and everybody interrupted the guard room. Unjupsha questions. So, somehow we push over UPND na Makadas. Do they have a holistic view here, Zambia? Like how they think of a country outside their own ambitions. But if a people traffic ambassador, and then one of the previous caller before me was talking about going in the streets. I know people can do this, but in any UPND, they don't even have respect for human life. Fundamental, basic, even just decency. It's like Kirabashupa somehow. For vanity, it's like Rena, they are here to live forever. It's like posterity, they are exempted to these things. But people like you, Ambassador, build a reputation without any shame. If you don't say ambassador, no shame na concluded.
Bamabo, abantu bachiteshani.
Abantu fifine mulelanda. Abantu ifindenda abantu tabakwata respect for human life, let alone even their own citizens. If you are on the street, anything will be possible. They will just bring up your security shani. Ordinary people. It's not even worthy for them to lose their lives. They don't even know how politics really work, how it even affects their lives. If you see, I'm a major to propose. But Nana, we so couldn't go down of a pen and patent flonji and I collage and my Italians at Nimpen. 16 hours, 17 days. Our ambassador will
Mkwai, thank you very much. Yeah, let's take your proposals and let's hear from you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Mwansa kuno Paruwingu,
Mkwaiba Mwansa.
Northern Province. mwantunguru shiva mwamba chakubata pondeka biro kumutotela no kumutasha pakubomba kwenu ichabubiri kwena ifuta twikere bwino muchalo abantu abengi n'abafika pakwe bati Zambia ile moneka kwati techalo cheso echo abafyashi beso nangu ifikolo fyesu fyachulire nokulwira obuntungwa ndachakutira vakaunda vari kwetoyo umutima ukwete vaechechi ngata paripo watekapo chino chalo vakaunda nga vafwirire pari upresident yes ifiriwo muri vakaunda kuti mwava iye and their party tavatarire fikapo apa fikiri obubutunguru shobotu mwenerero muvafyashi vandi kwena tuli vaiche but efyo tulemona nafe tupeshamano ukuve ntungulushi techakupati.
The line is cut. Abena Luingu. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. This is Uncle J.
Uncle J, make your contribution.
Thank you. How I wish that this government had learned from what happened to Edgar Lungu when they barred him from standing. The thing is, the people decide the leaders they want. So the jailing or sending to jail or charging our leaders, Mundubile and Makebi Zulu, with treason, that does not change our resolve as a people. We were yearning for leaders, and we had other political leaders that were there. But hey, people had chosen, their hearts had settled on these two leaders. In the same manner, our hope is not dying just because they've taken away our leadership, because this is the plan. The truth of the matter is that we are resolved as Zambians. We are looking for leaders. We know how this election went. We know how we voted. We voted for the leadership that we wanted. Unfortunately, this is what has happened. Our democracy has failed to thrive under the leadership of President HH. What happens now as a people, because this is not coming from Makebi Zulu or Mundubile, it's us the people. The election that was stolen from us the people. The bent papers, the voter papers that were thrown in the drainage were our votes. And we have the right to complain or cry. All right. I'm so disappointed, Ambassador Mwamba, with the issue of the UN. I thought that was the safest haven. Whatever happens, UN has the power and the authority to protect whoever goes to seek for safety, from them. Unfortunately, what has happened, actually, history will judge the UN actually in the future, because this story is going to end. At some point, it's coming to an end and the truth will begin to unfold. They were here, they observed the elections, they have reports from the European Union, the AU, and all those other, political observers that came to observe these elections.
Uncle Joe, there are so many calls. What should Zambians do? Today we are answering that question.
A quick one. What Zambians must do right now is let's honk, let's whistle, let us hit pans at 17 hours. That's the response. Why? We are dealing with people that have no respect for life. If they could kill Mtoteka Fire in that manner, what to stop them from killing people on the street? So let's not go on the street. It's so dangerous. Let us do it through cars, whistles, and hitting pad, whichever way that is available for you. Let us use those avenues. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Ambassador Mwamba, thank you for the program.
Thank you. Please tell us your name and make your contribution.
I just go straight to my contribution. Ambassador Mwamba, this question just go direct to you as a very important person to make sure that Zambia is Twishiwe Fishinka. Tundefu kuisha kwa ambassador ilio
the church motherboard or the person who are involved into mediating of surrendering the two leaders to the Zambian authority. In the Shiva, what did they agree? Did the two leaders agree to be surrendered and be charged? Trump up charges which are not their treason charges. Is it what the church mother body and everybody who was involved, they went to negotiate about it? Why am I saying these things? Ambassador Mwambanga, if you sit and close your eyes, I close my eyes, it's not adding up. Because not these things are not there. Two, according to the international law, the UN have got no capacity. It is not being allowed for them to be surrendered. But I want just you as a person who has been so important to this process, just to find out and educate the Zambian people. What did they negotiate? Two, did our two leaders consult the lawyers and the stakeholders who are working with them before they accepted the proposal which was on the table? Because it's not adding up. And two, what responsibility are my leaders back change? If anything happened, what happened to the Zambian people or to the nation? This is very important, Mwamba. Looking to the events. Thank you. Thank you, Mwamba.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Hello.
Hello.
Kwa ilandire mufoni. Yeah, mule umfiko kutali sana yama.
What's ni networking?
Landire mufoni fefine mwambo kula nakulandire mufoni landeni.
So phone de landa fya kwebati ino phone de suggest. Ngashita ino give. Hello?
Kwai.
Mtegumfa.
Akulandeni.
Mleo. So inende so kwebati ngabashita inaugurate bon safety. Okay, let me try to go back.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, Ramamba.
Endita.
I'm calling from Zambia, Anonymous.
Yes, Anonymous.
Amamba, kapene no mbali ne kwachi abachira ipusha issue of the church mother bodies. Kwa inde for kushibisha kwa bena chalo kwa bati bonse bali ama church mother bodies. Ibali abantu abali pamana state house. All of those are the people who have always agreed to the wrong things. Bill 7 ibali landa. Not suminisha. For example, ICOs, that's where that prophetess was coming from. That proposal word proposal. So they are not people that were working who would want to see Zambia, stay in peace because they are feeding from State House. So it's so sad because people like the other leaders that are even working with the Kafwaya family, they are not there. But majority of those are those State House, even they feed from me, tabakane. So what they did was so wrong. Men of God who are saying no to besides, even Makebi Zulu's father, who's a pastor and as a church, belongs there. So how can they even betray their own brother? He's also affiliated to some of those church mother bodies, but they decided to betray their brother, who has a son, who's the vice president to Brian Mundubile. That's not so right. Then I team around my butcher at a folk land up. My little shop, I just walked in through a shop, a mobile shop. Here comes a man, and people were discussing the grievances from the Kafaya family, the way they were crying. And I also contributed. And this man just walked in. Hey, you're being told the wrong information. Me, I just I said, you are the people that are causing so much harm in Zambia. No, and I said, you don't even know who you're talking to. I'm the sister of Kuriba Kafua. Don't you dare. I shouted at him. No, but president. I said, how? You want to learn that we don't have the truth. Your truth was sure. It could show that president. Then the farm fire video or president has always very much the envy mtotoka for kachinga mali mona mtotoka fire mupereniko shanyuko club we are not enemies. Look out for that video. I think Rudian Mutemba and others have posted it. Muifwaye kale batampiro ku mukumbo mwana wa bene bagishive fo balefwa kuli yen atota mwasyashi.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. This is Mother. I commend the proposals of honking, whistling. At the end of the day, those are noises, those are sounds that will be heard. Who will hear us at this point? Our role is to make noise. And as a mother, I get my authority from the book of Lamentations in the Bible, chapter 5. So as mothers, I propose tule fala imibango, because everywhere across the nation, we can afford anything, as long as it ofala kumutwe, because tuline chiro in our nation, tuline filiro. So every mother, I propose, should wear umupango to show that we have been shamed.
Abashayishi mupango, explain how that mupango is.
Okay. So umupango, if I say ingana, they will still ask what is ingana. Umupango, it's a cloth, a piece of cloth which you roll, you fold, you make a ring and put it on your head. You wear it on your head. It's a ring, a piece of cloth which is a ring.
And it demonstrates
it demonstrates loss, funeral, a funeral. And the book of Lamentations, everything that is happening, even sons, Makebi and Brian, it is there in the book of Lamentations. And that will be the mourning. Lamentations, Ichimbo Chamarilo, a mother's dirge. That is what we are supposed to be sounding. Because as mothers, as women, we cannot blow whistles. And it is not feminine or motherly to honk. So ours is to wear that for the children, by millennium and Gen Z,
I think you made it very clear. The one women wear when there is mourning. Yes, no, you've made it very clear.
In the Zambian, the traditional context, so that what they understand, like a crown. Now our crown will have no jewels. It will be, they are not jewels because there's no one. There's no happiness. We are in sadness. That is what the symbolism of umupango, or the tiara without crowns. Now, in the book of Lamentations, which is Ichimbo Chamanilo, Lamentations chapter 5, it says, remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Look and behold our reproach. Our inheritance has been turned over to aliens, and our houses to foreigners. We have become orphans and waifs. Our mothers are like widows. We pay for the water we drink. and our wood comes at a price. They pursue at our heels. We labor and have no rest. We have given our hand to the Egyptians, that's oppression, and the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. So others are taking whatever our children are supposed to be eating. Our fathers sinned and are no more, but we bear their iniquities. Servants rule over us. There is none to deliver us from their hand. We get our bread at the risk of our lives because of the sweat in the wilderness. Our skin is hot as an oven because of the fever of famine. They ravished the women in Zion, the maidens. So they ravished the women in Zambia, the maidens in the cities of Lusaka. Princes were hung up by their hands. This is what is happening to Brian and Makebi.
Thank you very much.
Verse 12 here is saying, let me just finish so that you know why this mother says, Imipango. Princes were hung up by their hands, and elders were not respected. Our chiefs are not respected. Young men ground at the milestone. Boys staggered under loads of wood. We have junkies now. The elders have ceased gathering at the gate. Our chiefs have no voices, and the young men from their music. Our musicians have been silenced. This is what everyone is crying. But it is here in the Bible, in the book of Lamentations, which is Ichimbo Chamalilo. So mothers, what do we do? The joy of our heart has ceased. Our dance has turned into mourning. The campaigns, the Zambian campaigns are full of song and dance. This has ceased. Our dance has turned into mourning. The crown has fallen from our head. Woe to us, for we have sinned. Because of this, our heart is faint. Because of these things, our eyes grow dim. Because of Mount Zion, which is desolate, with foxes walking about on it, you, O Lord, remain forever. This is where we are honking, we blowing our whistles, doing our Ifimbo Fiamadilo too. You, O Lord, remain forever. Your throne from generation to generation. Why do you forget us forever and forsake us for so long a time? Turn us back to you, O Lord, and we will be restored. Renew our days as of old, unless you have utterly rejected us and are very angry with us. So our foundation of presidency is breaking. It's breaking. So what do we do as mothers? We put on imipango. We are in mourning. The voices of the elders, the chiefs, that they get silenced. Our musicians is silenced. Our princes, our leaders, they are hung up. Treason, that is hanging up. They are being taken to the gallows. Are we going to sit still? No. We mothers, we are in mourning. And if you can, mothers, if you have ichitenge, any regalia, even a t-shirt of the campaigns of the presidency, roll it and wear it on your head, because what is being threatened is the Zambian presidency. The foundations of democracy are breaking and we are watching. We are not supposed to sit still. So whether we are shot at for peaceful demonstrations, we will not be the first people. If we are shot at, we are going home. Paul says, for me to live is Christ, to die is gain. What is wrong? What is violent in Umupango? There's nothing. I've had Umupango in Unipi Regalia. That's what God told me. From the 14th of August, I've had Umupango with me. And God told me to go to the memorial site of President Kaunda. That's where I will go to mourn. To Ichimbo Chamadilo, I go there alone. It is a protest of a mother. A dirge is a mother's protest. So mothers, rise up. We are at risk. What will our grandchildren find here? They will find dictatorship. they'll find dictatorship. Is that what we want? No. When I was from casting my vote, my granddaughter, 7-year-old, called me. Go, did you vote? I said, yes, I voted. I asked her, do you know what it means to vote? She said, no. So I have umupango on me from the 14th of August, and I lament to God.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you very much.
I do my debt to God. Thank you. So,
thank you. That's the best example of a protest alone, and she's won that, and she has been protesting. So protest is not violence. The two are totally different. Yeah.
Different.
Yeah. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Thank you, Shani.
How fe bueno.
Alaba fe anonymous. Mupeleko fe akashita. So, mwebena Zambia. Kintu chikalamba sana twaite mwalesa. Walishibalesa, tulakongalesa ofuafuaya bati. Lesa alitandika ofuafufu bantu tulingira okuchita. Filafintu nga tatufichitira ifwe takatume ba malaika because lesa alikwata marozi yakwe. Na Yesu, teti upepe fati mwelesa ponye nyuvwadi, teti wikidi yao. Kucha abu ponya maka na tuisha na kwa tabatafu. Ufuida waya na ya wakoshe mbabula, wafubira, wapakula. So those things that us as human can do, God will never come down to do them. Because alitupela kali power. So now, my message I want to address, if you bachelor takuli leadership, there is leadership in Zambia. It doesn't mean that ba Makebi ngaba kaka na ba Mundubile ni leadership takuli. Not quite members of parliament. Mweba eminine Parizo Root Party pa NRPUP. Ulowane uwa NRPUP na ngwenga fuma mulia teo mwa konkere spirit yaba Mundubile na ba Makebi na vision yabo. So your allegiance is to those people. And I want to appeal to you. Ngana wishwa tu wali minina pali ama tiketi ya bili. You are a councillor. Whether watch Peter, ta watch Peter. You are a mayor. Whether watch Peter, ta watch Peter. You are an MP. Whether watch Peter, ta watch Peter. You are still a leader. So, inocho nala milomba nichi. If you ba pera ma suggestions, yonse fintu suma. But we also need records like videos to show what you people are doing. So ichintocho nala milomba nichi. Mwema leaders, konsoko muli walikuwa tawadi, nuwashani organize some people. Chibaba 5, chibaba 10, not having yabakoba to raise commotion now. Kabia nangu mu forest. No one will know. Drive there. Put on sackcloth. If in Ben Kumenso, write placards and write the truth. You have not heard our petition. We do not accept your presidency. We did not vote for you. We refuse to be led by someone who is illegitimate. Air out your grievances in such a way. Your face does not matter. What matters is your message. Let that leader who carries you take that video. They don't need to show their face. Why? We need those videos to keep records of what is happening in Zambia. You don't have to say what no, you just have to say Kunoku Western, Kunoku Southern, Kunoku Ruapula. This is what is happening. We are not happy. But leaders, please take up this role, or else you are not even ready, because it shows that worse than what those Bill 7 people did. You have been too quiet for my liking, meaning that you are a threat to even us. So no, we have to protest. We have to take videos. Take those videos and let's flood the internet with such videos. So that people are not able to tell who you are, or you can turn your back. But what we need are videos, very important.
Another suggestion, we are suggesting that people should honk, blow whistle at 17 hours. Bamayo wachisa party. We should abanama bale fwale mipango na yo waisa konama diashidama placards. There are many suggestions that we are taking, but the issue is peaceful protest. Peaceful protest. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good morning, Ramanda.
Good morning.
I make that much, Ramanda.
By anonymous Landeni po.
Ramanda, first of all, I feel fit for Mundubile Makebi Zulu. There was fighting, fighting fiercely. Balelusho kuba tifo tuikale buino. Mundubile kudoko badi, takwadi naba kwebati, balandi atabadi violence. Mundubile from the word go to adibeshwana Makebi Shobaba. Ichaba mukabamba bitu yakwaleta na paka mpeni nokutampa nepepo. I feel pretty kubantu abapala Zumani. That Zumani, that hearty, God will punish him. Bantu abengi bale idishanya. That hearty for Zumani, God will punish him. I think he's listening to this alone for. God will punish you, my brother. God will punish you. Makebi lelo balaya kumkobeko naba Mundubile bakuluisha ifwe bako bashachitire mutoto kafwala akwa wamfuatisha kufwala bamfula mmocha litakwete badirira sana ba blulu. I feel pity kuli mwe bonse mwe bakolongene mwe bakwete plan ya kupitechitaba evil. Bamwamba quote this at Psalms 109. Bamwamba Psalms 109 mukaibikela pa page wenu. This scripture here, Psalms 109. It's a dangerous prayer. It's a dangerous prayer. Kuri bonse aba ikele cabinet balela ndapa kupekanya 50 kile mu Zambia. Aba ile kulya mukuipaya. Aba lengera aba nabo bayisanga muri ila problem yako ya kulya. You will be scattered. You will be scattered in the name of Jesus Christ. Also, ule mfakuli program, uwa ishirati wa Mundubile badi wantu bakona ba Makebi. Avule Psalms 109. Muibike as a morning prayer for the dangerous people. Aba inimino kuchita evil sintu chalo pako bati chibefi. Aba ile shuta mutoto kafwaya. Aba lenga baba na baba innocent baisange. Mukwe chibaya kuja mukulusha obuntungwa. Iyi Psalms 109 ibe lipepo yakupepera baba Makebi Zulu kuba abachitire abatinguluike abaikere cabinet kwebati baba fuike ekisendo kiri kyabo. Bamwambanga mwaya pa 6 iyi ilela ndati may his days be few. Bamwamba mutalese muibelenge.
Yo nalai bikapo. Natasha sana. Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good morning, my man Mwamba. This is Liam Mutambo.
Oh, really? Yes, my dear sister from UK. Make your contribution.
Okay, Ambassador. Yeah, so basically, for me, I'm not surprised with what is happening because that was the plan of Hakainde Hichilema. On the 11th of August, I shared a post because somebody I know was flying to Kasama. And when they were flying into Kasama, they were in a lounge. And the person even took a picture I shared on my Facebook of Felix Mutati with a UPND card. And they were boasting to say they've already won the elections. They're going to make sure that Mundubile is arrested. And I shared on my post, I said, when you plan wickedness against anyone, we cancel that this wickedness shall never come to pass. But obviously it has come to pass because Zambia is learning something from this, how God gives us victory. It's part of the testimony of Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu. This should now bring us closer together as Zambians. I thank God that Zambian people are not, going to the streets, making noise. I know that would be a wish of others to say they should do that. But when God is taking charge of what is happening right now, the victory will be sure and certain. the church mother bodies that organized that Mundubile and Makebi Zulu should go to the police station, most of those pastors, we know them. These are people who are brown envelope pastors. Now, it has happened, they've gone. We shouldn't sob, but we should continuously pray that the end result will be victory. Who shall lay a charge against God's elect? Makebi Zulu is innocent. Brian Mundubile is innocent. And I don't think we serve a God who is unfair. The God we serve is a God who allows situations to happen so that we should glorify him. The desperation of President Hakainde Hichilema has been seen by so many international people, businessmen. You know, you've shared on your platform and people can see what you have shared, posts and articles. At the end of the day, I feel that Hakainde Hichilema is towards the end of his journey. And that is why he's doing so many things at the same time. 1 minute is Mutotoko Faya's family complaining and their prayer is being heard by God, obviously. And he's, made sure that Mutotoko Faya has no clothes. So much drama. Then the next minute, he tries to preach about the militia and he sends Chulufe Tayali, whom I've seriously warned that his life is in danger. He's just being used. And Hakainde Hichilema is very good at using people. If there are two people whose lives are in danger in Zambia, it's Mao Sampa and the same Chulufe Tayali. He's preaching on radio, using Chulufe Tayali, going to this radio station, speaking in Bemba, speaking in this language, trying to, preach the militia message. Has any Zambian bought that story? No. Everybody knows clearly that Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu, they won this election. And that is why I'm happy, Bamwamba. Even your headline says leading opposition candidate. Please ignore the comments, those of you in the comment section, from UPND cadres. They had no hope for this election. They know they lost. Without using the army, without hijacking the whole process of counting, there is no way Hichilema would have even caught up with Mundubile. But they've done what they've done because to them they feel if Mundubile and Makebi Zulu become, they form government, this will be a danger to them because there's a lot of mess they have done. Hakainde Hichilema has never been accountable for any form of corruption. His angels, his government of angels, they've never been wrong. He has fired people in the SEC. There's a lot we can talk about. But I don't think God is a God of confusion. God is a God of order. And there are certain steps that he needs to take us through for us to appreciate what we have. Because if Hakainde Hichilema did not behave as wicked as he is now, Zambians may never even have appreciated how Dr. Edgar Chagwalungu was. Some of us have started speaking since last year because of Dr. Edgar Chagwalungu. I saw that the treatment that Hakainde Hichilema gave him was unfair. Now, tell me, Bamwamba, did Brian Mundubile ever become a president before and Makebi Zulu? And did they ever fight before with Mundubile? They never. But for him, he has this bad heart that anyone who's associated with Edgar Lungu should not prosper, should never progress. And when you look at the people who advise him, the guy in Nigeria, he is the one who's committing treason and terrorism. What that guy is doing all over social media, celebrating the arrest and telling people he's a militia and everything, that is terrorism. He cannot even do that in Nigeria. Andrew Ejimadu, he cannot do that in Nigeria. Tinubu will wipe him out. There's a lot of things happening in Nigeria. Boko Haram, kids being abducted in schools. You are quiet, but you are focusing on Zambia, causing terror, advising Hakainde Hichilema, thinking you are winning the battle, but you are now setting even more traps for yourselves. Because the international community can see. Everybody can see. To a point that even those that support Hakainde Hichilema, like Chinono, he used to support Hakainde Hichilema. He's against him, the Zimbabwean journalist. So many articles are written all over, and they've promoted Mundubile. He's now all over. If you go on BBC, all the platforms. So the wickedness of Pharaoh is actually leading us to our destiny where we need to be as Zambian people. Zambia, continue praying. If you can see some gospel artists, just check on their pages. Just go to Ephraim's page. Just read his last post last night. You understand that everybody is praying. The church is praying. Ignore those ones that are associating themselves with Hakainde Hichilema. So I would like to encourage people that by 9 o'clock, we're going to go live on my page to pray. Then we're going to go on Prophet Excellence in Australia. So I'll be sharing links on my page.
Thank you, Lily. Thank you. Share with us. Thank you.
It's very important. Then Mamuamba as well, lastly, I've sent you a video. Somebody asked, last year when I saw the opening of Parliament, the 5th, and I saw the way Hakainde Hichilema talked about Wakafuaya. I don't know, my spirit just didn't feel comfortable. I cropped that part of the video and I shared. I said, I don't trust HH. And I posted it on my page. I've sent it to you. Okay. You see what HH said. We're friends, we're not enemies.
Who played?
HH plays to be a very good person, but he has a very wicked and dark side. And to him, the only way he can be praised by people is by always tormenting others. It's something to do with psychology. He's a psychopath. And I will never change my words from saying he's a psychopath, because all he wants is to inflict pain. Right now, Tasila Lungu's husband is in the cells, inflicting pain on an in-law, son-in-law to Edgar Lungu. So anyone associated with Edgar Lungu must feel pain. For what? He's the one who caused treason. He's the one who refused to stop for the motorcade. Now, when Hakainde Hichilema is president, I call him former president, by the way. When he's a former president, if he's passing, you can't even, drive your car. They will even jail you for that. He feels more powerful and superior. Power is temporal. And the power that comes from Kubantu through democracy, you come and treat people like they are nothing. God is watching. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We've got so many people waiting. Let's go to this caller. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Good morning. Uncle Mumba.
Good morning.
We've got 2 points that I want to raise this morning.
Thank you.
The first thing is about our country. Zambia has been known to be a peaceful country in the region and an example for democracy. What is happening today is, I'm going to use a very bad word as example. You have a house and you've got ladies in the house, like you've got 2 daughters and a wife. The moment you start going outside the yard and start screaming, you start saying, no, the only thing that I'm sorry for using that word. The only thing that you are learning there, you are learning the reputation of your house, your wife, and which of your daughter. Initially, in that house, there are no such kind of characters. What is happening in Zambia? Zambians, we are good people. We don't have terrorists in Zambia. We don't have militias. We don't have anything. This is what is happening today was told before 2 years ago by one person from Congo. This is what is actually happening. Abamamba, I think you know what the story I'm talking about from Congo.
You should share with me.
I will definitely share with you. What is happening in Zambia is a cooked lie and division among us ourselves. And as much as we Zambians, all of us, we just want to opt to play, things won't work in the way that we feel like it's going to work. Some has to play, others has to do something. In the same story of Esther and Mary in the Bible, when other one was busy doing home chores, the other one was on the ground doing the groundwork. And the other one was doing the groundwork, was complaining, this one is just praying. And the other one who was praying was complaining, this one is just doing groundwork. So that's how things are supposed to be. It's supposed to be diverse. We are all not going to pray. Others has to stand, others has to sacrifice.
Kuriria Shiyama Wiso Nama Honking, what are you saying?
No, let's be effective. I would want to see more effective action than that.
What effective action would you propose?
let's get permission if we can have a protest in the Lords without even covering ourselves, because we are displeased. We are not pleased with what is happening. We just have to walk and show that we are not happy with what is happening in our country. We are not a militia country. We are a peaceful country.
There's another proposal that the people on the ground should go and seek a request for a permit for a march, isn't it?
Yes, let's just do that. Let's walk peacefully, just like the way we are known for. We walk peacefully. We show our displeasure that we are not happy with what is happening in our country.
Can you take it upon yourself to make that request to your community where you are?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and make your contribution. Mkwai.
Thank you. Well, Bamwamba, I think I also agree. Pafinto formulandire, tuchi tefe demonstrate. Umulandu wako ebati tapale fotwala chita. Na ngufetu ingalanda tapale fotwala chita. So fuebe ne twalire mkuvota. Ifo fuebe ne. Since twalichitile protect ya mavoti ne liline katufunye po mwenso. Ine have already mobilized. Once ba blue bandina basumina. Nomba ba mwa. Just listen to this. We are serious. Just listen to this. To this.
Honk. Yeah, you are honking. Honk at 17 hours. Thank you, Mama. Honk at 17 hours.
Yes, Mama. Even you are helping us. What about if
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, Ambassador.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Wonderful program. Before I come to what we're supposed to do, I just have a concern. There's this Facebook page. They purport to be Honorable Makebi Zulu's page. But if you look around, his page is verified, and the one that is on the public domain now is not verified, and it's telling people to say follow Makebi Zulu. So like what happened yesterday, they sent a message on that same page to say we are in police custody. Play for us. So they meant play as in the word playing, not praying. So you could tell to say this is just a fake Facebook page. And there are a lot of people that are following that.
Kindly send me the link. We put fake on it and we advertise it everywhere. Because the conmen are everywhere. Yeah, please, thank you very much.
They are, and you can tell to say that's a fake page.
Yeah, Makebi Zulu's page is very well known and it's verified.
Yes, it's very well known and verified.
Yes, yes.
But for this one that is there, and a lot of people that are following thinking that it's his page.
Yes, no,
so
bring it. We stamp, we put a link. We also report it. Another thing you do is we all report it, so it will be brought down as a fake.
So it looks like they blocked me. They blocked me when I responded, because there's a comment that I sent to say, beware of fake pages.
Yes.
So it looks like I'm blocked. They blocked me, so I don't have access to that same page, but it's there.
Okay. It's just, it's saying Makebi Zulu.
Makebi Zulu is not verified. It's just saying
and
Makebi
what picture is it using?
There is the same picture for Vice President Makebi Zulu, the one in a
like on the original page.
Like on the original page, then they also put the photos of the Larrys. I think they're just about 4. The ones that those rich piece he was posting, but that's not his original page.
Is it Honorable Makebi Zulu or just Makebi Zulu?
It's just Makebi Zulu. It's not Honorable. It's just Makebi Zulu.
Yeah. So the original Makebi Zulu has a tick and it has 491,000 followers. That's a page you should look for.
Exactly.
Any other page
but
is
for
fake.
This one,
yeah.
No, for this one it has less. It has less. So I just looked at it. I wanted to do the comparison. So I was telling people to say, no, this is not the original page, because this page is verified and this is not verified. So maybe after seeing that comment, that person blocked me.
Yeah, the conmen. Yeah, okay.
Yes,
No, we'll
yes,
expose
yes.
it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, yes. So, like, we should go with the idea of those that have got whistles, those that have got cars, we horn, and putting on black t-shirts shouldn't be just for a day. We can start even today. Right now, I'm in black. Wish I could send my photos. I'm putting on black. I started the other one. I'm just putting on black. So we should, those that have whistles, those that can do the drums. Sure, Ambassador. I'll do that. We do that in our tradition. I mean, I'm from the East, so
Thank you,
Mama.
very
We'll
much.
go ahead. I'll do that. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. And where you calling us from? Na New York.
Mwabika pobanya mpera ma election twakwete kuno.
Oh, okay. My dear brother, how's South Africa?
Tulivyo mutende.
Oh, chawama. Landapo yama.
Development. Ndiye bakuchita echo bawenze kwali bamayi bapiku babiri abantu bina ba mu diaspora kutira tipwe ba mu diaspora ifwe twaima twalimo n'abaneesoma Nigeria nga kwakitika simu balima n'amaplacards baya kuma embassies yabo kuma embassies safari wingesani tamatiagas nangu chingo ero kula bana solidarity kula n'ama countries let's protest ngabanga timwaima even those countries bala join bakumaka ku South Africa uita sita ngamwe kwati abena Zambia na abema let's protest about what's happening in their own country na ina ala to support but na isho kweba tabena Zambia kwalu bana ku Zambia kuya bakawutukira mu South Africa bala to support so therefore nchinchi kwa bali diaspora ukokulanda ni pa two palace ku Kensington abena Zambia bakembe bengi abakulanda n'amazambia nzabe game but a peaceful protest with placards kuno ku South Africa wafatwa kwa abena Zambia twakwata kuno nomwaye batiseni twime bala kwatiyo tulisheni ilo twale ima kutsta solidarity group Pretoria kuri balungu court bose balefwa tulisheni. We have to take out our own personal monies, but it shouldn't be like that this time. Number it's a matter of cry our beloved country. People have been saying, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. The time has come.
Thank you very much. I don't know why we forgot. One caller suggested that those that are in London make a protest at the Zambian High Commission. Those that are here in the United States, although in the United States there are so many states, but we can gather and go to our embassy in Washington and also just do a protest. So I love the idea. Muntu ati nabam diaspora nabo bachikushe.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Yo bakalipire chalo chabo.
In fact okunala you njambo you naba nankubo ndipo kalipira sasa.
Eva Sydney antumineko na phone. Thank you very much, my dear brother. Continue to do the good work. Thank you. Dear brothers from South Africa being aged like people in the diaspora that they should join the protest.
Yes.
Hello caller. How fe win? Endita.
I'm quiet. First, inshallah, nationally and but in that to me na Morosaka.
I'm quiet.
But it's on the foreground that coach Bichauti. You can protest. Feningachita advice like kuli also under protest. Takwa kaire fio ili hapa. Muleve rula mano takwa wole for kupasa exam. Then vakupere leakage. So if be barera ndawambia we so na so abapene pa page ko muli na wa nani kana wa VPN nda wa send nani kana information mule umfwe ndera
Awe, tuachila misambirisha. It's very important to misambirisha. Ati ayama protest na demonstration turelanda yafire yaba peaceful takuri kutobe fintu takuri kona ole fintu takuri kutoba mabwe. That is the purpose of talking. Efe tuachila ndangupa 17 hours mwashitama wiso. Panto abantu baishibati demonstration kutobe fintu ni riot. No. Icho chena natukana. Yes.
Shirashena mirando chishinje chomurena. Iyo yana gabacha taking a lawyers ngabashana nikane. Ayo tapari nevyo wa polisi benga shitana nikane kwambo kuikatao kwambo kulisha matia gas. Iyo nishi ilifya bwino. Nishiri peaceful nani kane demonstration.
Afuire aba peaceful.
Vipa nchile cha kwambo kutobefi.
Awe, efe tuleka necho.
Wakachite. Icho chine kali fileza mukubwesesha icharo kuno mafuti na fiena. Kaili nishe wapwanya ure fintusha na shani fidia. So ero chimbi esho ndefo kulandako chama abama nani kane bama nani bama pasta bama envelope aba. Limwe fintu fimo treva honest file chitika mucharo chezu cha Zambia chino. Icharo tachiri nani kane tachiri peaceful. Ero constitution na yona ikasana kwa constitution. Fionze kura ichita fintu fyo walefwa fionze fyo walefwa ni wena. Cause efe aba opposition without opposition you can't nani that more icharo develop. Nani kari opposition avera komando check and balances. Manje ngatambo destroy opposition. Nishichara shitapade ko chikai. Adiyo newo ndepo findete ka newo. Takwa befio. In constitution ifire ya konkoa. Umwina Zambia onza fuiro konga constitution.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Petition. Nishi Zambia is a Christian nation. Not to under Zambia is a Christian nation. To Pangara to constitution. Zambia is not a Christian nation.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. We need to wind down and close. Yeah. Hello, caller.
One thing is very sad for country Zambia, especially when we just had the general elections. And then something like that, whereby opposition leaders have been intimidated, have been sent to jail so easily. It's very sad for this country. Bamwamba, we have a generation which is watching right now. So now, number, what type of the seed these leaders are sowing into our country? That's the most important thing which we're supposed to ask ourselves. As for now, those of you, maybe they are listening right now. They are in another, maybe they are in New PND. Yes, they are celebrating of what has happened. Let's talk about tomorrow. This political power which we see today is not forever. That's the most important thing. No one can able to celebrate someone going to jail in a thing which seems to be like so easily. Like if someone is very much innocent. There are cases which we can able to prove and we can able to tell the nation that yes, this was true. But someone on his residential house, how can he be doing illegal activities like gold fingers on? Let us be serious as a country. Yes, people they can want to protest. The fact here is that anyone is scared.
Hello. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Hello, caller.
Ambassador.
Yes,
I
caller.
joined the conversation in the middle, but I want to comment on the UN. Ambassador, I know you have told us that we are on our own, and indeed we are on our own. What surprises me is the action of the United Nations of surrendering Brian Mundubile and Makebi to the police. These people, I think, what they should have done is to investigate the manner the whole thing happened. We have a life that was lost in that encounter, and Mr. Mundubile is a key witness to what happened. So I expected the UN, first of all, before they did everything, to look at the matter, what happened, and how do you hand over a key witness to the regime that killed a person? And it doesn't make sense. You know, the reason why many people run to the UN, they are assured of safety. But this UN, I don't know whether they are interested in our minerals or something, because what I say so, there is a life that was lost, and even the lives of those people are in danger. You've got almost 300 members of the opposition arrested, and then you surrender those people that ran to seek refuge to you. It's like someone runs to a refugee camp, and then the people running the refugee camp will surrender the person to the soldiers. It's those people that have killed that person. So I expected the UN to act in a certain way, but it looks like everyone is polluted by the things that are happening in this country. On the other hand, I also want to show some displeasure on that Nigerian guy. I don't know, they call him CR1. You know, such people in a civilized countries, that one can be extradited to The Hague. But I don't know what we are doing as Zambians also on this issue, because all these things, there are so many atrocities that are happening in our country. And I don't know if we've got some international lawyers that can pick up some of these things and put them into The Hague. Because, you know, as long as there are no complaints in the International Court of Justice, these injustices will continue. These people, they know, they are all over, they are in charge, you know, they are not questionable to any other person. And the other one is the inconsistencies in this issue. You know, these guys, they are saying, Mr. Mutotweka Fire was part of the militia. But again, look at the hypocrisy. In the same breath, they wanted to give Mr. Mutotweka Fire a state funeral. Who does that? You know, even in Nigeria, when they kill a member of Boko Haram, you don't see the Nigerian government trying to sponsor the funeral of an insurgent. No. These things are not adding up, and these things, Mr. Ambassador Mamba, they are not adding up. I don't know where this country is going to, and there are so many people that are polluted, that are believing all these nonsense things that cannot be substantiated.
There is a proposal to express oneself that at 17 hours people should honk or whistle. What is your view about that? We've been complaining for 1 week, so now we are taking action.
It's a welcome move, Ambassador, but also on top of that, I think we should also have some people go to the UN house there to go and show some displeasure. That it should be extended to the UN house.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Thank you very much. This is Martin calling from Lusaka, Zambia. Am I clear?
Yes, you are very clear.
Allow me to register my displeasure equally over the handing over of our leaders to this killer, brutal regime. You can't hand over somebody to people whom you know very well, that they are capable of killing, that they are capable of torturing, they are capable of doing all sorts of things to an individual. It was a tragic mistake for the UN and, of course, the church mother bodies. The church. How many times did I say the church? The church in Zambia, I don't know where we are going. There's no one who is not aware of what is happening in this country. As things stand now, I'll just appeal that all of us as members of the Patriotic Front, members of the entire opposition, let us ensure that we show solidarity to our leaders, Mundubile and Makebi Zulu, by ensuring that we are visiting them every day. Their lawyers must have access, and please, we are appealing, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, let us have daily update on the way they are faring wherever they are. We as citizens of this country, we are keen in knowing, because this is a brutal government with no conscience. I don't know how our president would sit in his living room together with the first lady and eating shema and with a clear conscience of innocent blood that has been shed. And there we are now. You go and send the family as rejected. How do you you say someone is a militia and at the same time you want to give them a state funeral, you want to honor them? What type of controversy is that? So that shows you that this whole thing is a bogus thing. It's bogus. It was just meant to ensure that you scare the opposition and arrest people in this country. You can see that everybody making noise, they are being arrested. And what is surprising is that even the opposition leaders appeared to have been scared. All of them, no one is talking, no one is coming up, holding press conference to ensure that we condemn this barbaric kind of killer regime that we have bestowed upon ourselves.
Thank you, my brother.
I'll be back. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, I'm calling from Lusaka.
Thank you.
My name is Tiese.
Tiese, make your contribution.
So, I was speaking Bemba and Nyanja.
Okay, that's fine.
Bamwamba, me, I'm appealing to Zambians. First, I want to assure the Zambians I had a dream. Maloto yanga lyonse yamabwera true. Nezinalota ati babachosa. So baja babiri swaza wapasa mulandu uli wonse. They have no evidence in court. Number 2, ija day ya inauguration. Tikaende wonse manga tienda kukala navo. But when we start entering the stadium, us will start coming backwards. Tizambo bwelela mumbuyo, mwebe na chalo, mwebe mba bakopala. Bonse mwewekesa mu Lusaka. Kuko Great North Road, Great East Road, and the road ya ku Livingstone. Bonse tukabya kwa titula ku stadium. Ifota twakengire. That's the only way it's going to work. Tukalafuma bonse tulekwelera the opposite directions. Filofo tukalemba kwa maplacards olo yakafuma. Kuli onse akalembe fili ku mutima. Tatwakengiremo mubya. And that day ama officers takara ishiba tule ya mu stadium ni nani utale ya mu stadium ni nani efo yinga bomba aba bantu masatana takatusuminishe ukuchita protest fwe bantu imwe bakuchipata imwe bururu vanga sekukani tayari yango kusirizani pa radio hapo mumverera. No, we shouldn't be used. Me, I'm part of the system. All those letters you are seeing, they were forged by UPND cadres. If you see the one that was released by your Kangwa yesterday, Amadiro, when the original sign, they are machoka system yaje. I just went to sign and Makata yenzo sign. Babatia Kidira ba justice, Babatia Kidira ba Kangwa in statement by P. No. So Bamwamba, Muweva Mazambians, the only way it's going to work that day. We will all be allowed to go and mkusefia. Tizaenda wonse kubalandira kubasekerera ati bawina. Ise tizapanga the opposite direction. Bale ibe poko na bawina baikata Bible. Ifo tukalafumako. Wonse tulebwera towards town. Tukenda, it is walking from town to Woodlands, walking from town to Chester. We are going to do that day. For namuna feinga bomba plus the other things that have been suggested by Abantu. 17 hours. Natotera mkwai.
Thank you very much. Another suggestion that you go to the stadium and you walk out. Brilliant suggestion. We are listening. But the issue of honking at 17 hours, blowing whistles at 17 hours seems to have been accepted very widely. Very, very widely. Family, we have to go. We have to go. So I'll take the last two calls and we'll be done. And I have to look for that video that Lily said I should play. We'll look for it quickly. And let's take the last two calls and we should allow you to rest. We've been at it since 7 o'clock Zambian time, and thank you very much. And thank you very much for your suggestion. Let's begin the action. Express yourself about what has happened. Use peaceful means. Use peaceful means.
That one to instill fear in you. Like I have said, Zambia is not Tanzania. Zambia is a Christian nation. Zambians, Christians right now are fasting. They are on their knees. And Lord Almighty will show that He reigns supreme. At the mention of the name of Jesus, in case you wanted to know, every knee shall bow and every tongue confess.
Yes, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good morning, Ramanda Anonymous.
Yes.
I've sent a video on your WhatsApp.
Okay.
I'm also in support of the same protest of the whistles. This is what I was saying. If there is a need of supplying whistles, I've got enough whistles. I can give the people who are in need. Yes, Ramanda, because this is too much. Abantu mwamu natina mwibama voti. Again, futi mwabula na abantu mwabakaka. The video that I've sent to you, you will see it. Please check it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller.
Ramwamba mutulishisheko na tatuapanye flagi.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, Cancer.
There is no miracle they can perform to win this election. So they've now resorted to the Tanzania formula. Zambia is not Tanzania. Zambia is not Tanzania. This is Zambia. This is Zambia. Our God, our Lord, shines His light upon this country. This is the Christian nation. Every Christian is on their knees today to pray. And we shall emerge supreme as Christians. So for those that think they can import ideas that worked in Tanzania into this country, you've got it all wrong. So my dear colleagues from Tanzania who've been hired, please get out of this country and go back. Please. The UPND cannot win this election. There is no miracle they can perform to win this election. So they've now resorted to the Tanzania formula. Zambia is not Tanzania. Zambia.
Augustine, I wish to apologize. I didn't see you.
Worries.
What time did you come in? I've been checking.
I came in pretty late.
What time did you come in?
I've been listening to the calls. I think they came in about an hour ago. So I've been listening to the calls, and happy to hear that people are now realizing.
You've been here about an hour.
Yes, I've been here about an hour.
Oh, but why didn't you alert me?
No worries. I didn't want to disturb the flow of the conversation.
Yeah. No, you've done very well. Then we will close with you, but I wish to announce to our people that I promised you. There were rumors yesterday that our leaders were taken to Kabwe, to Mkobeko. And many of you kept on saying, but why haven't you put it on the page? Why haven't you put it on the page? I try very much to verify, no matter how sensational the information is. And I've spoken to 2 of our lawyers. They can confirm that Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu remain at Lusaka Central Police Station. They were never transported to Kabwe. I think maybe that news was leaked to us so that we can broadcast and shift attention to Kabwe, when they were at Lusaka Central Police. They've been at Lusaka Central Police the entire time. I've spoken to a family member and I've spoken to 2 lawyers. They are still at Lusaka Central Police. My dear brother, make your contribution. Let's give you the floor.
Ambassador,
You have a lot of
thank you
issues
very
to
much.
discuss.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. I think number one, indeed, you're right. Honorable Brian Mundubile and Honorable Makebi Zulu are still at Central Police, and as late as midnight Zambian time, we were still trying to establish, that information, whether they had been transported to Kabwe at Mkobeko or not. But this morning, family members that have gone to visit, the other people that have been holed up at Central Police, charged also with treason, have been turned away, I think, because of, the presence of the leaders of the opposition. It should never have got to this. Again, I understand, the disappointment of many of us with the United Nations. We expected that the United Nations are going to play a significant role. The United Nations understand that these people don't have to go through this type of treatment. The accusations, the charges that are being slapped on them are flimsy, they are frivolous, and they are non-existent. So basically, they're just being punished, being inconvenienced, and being an attempt to weaken the opposition, an attempt to frustrate them from aspiring for public office. But I believe Honorable Makebi Zulu and Honorable Brian Mundubile were prepared for such an occurrence, and we will stand strong on behalf of the Zambian people. But they need the support of all of us. We need to stand with them both in prayer, and we also need to stand with them physically, because they are our leaders. The listening to the cause has been encouraging, because the people realize that they have to stand up for the vote. Mr. Kainde Ichilema stole this vote. It's very clear and evident that he didn't win the election, in as much as he has forced himself on the people of Zambia. The people of Zambia are going to take back their victory. So we need to stand with our leaders who have been slapped with trumped up charges, and we need to show them solidarity, and let's turn out in numbers. We need to be there for them, because these charges have got no legs, and they're not going anywhere, not in any court of law. I doubt if they will even go past the director of public prosecution. Knowing, Gilbert Perry, I do not think he, being a lawyer that he is, the quality that he brings to the table, I don't think he's going to process prosecution based on the information that is available. I think the information that is available is sufficient to dismiss these allegations, even before they go to court for trial or whatever it is, because the issue of the militia has been established that it's fictitious. There is no militia in Zambia. There has never been a militia under the charge of Honorable Brian Mundubile. You killed an innocent life in Honorable Mtoto Kafwaya. And because of the guilt, you then processed a state funeral as if you were fooling the family. Um, Very, very unfortunate, but it's an admission of guilt that, look, this man did not belong to a militia. We killed him because of our paranoia, and therefore we must bestow him the honors that comes with the service that he rendered during his days on earth to public office. But the family has refused, because you judged him before you put him through any form of legal process. And that's the danger when you have leaders who are going to listen to wrong information, who are not going to sieve their information. I urge Zambians to be vigilant, to stand up like you're standing up on many cause, and to challenge this leadership and ensure that they don't have it their way, because this country belongs to every one of us who identify as Zambian. And I am looking forward to a moment when this comes to pass and we correct what has been created under this leadership that was elected in 2021. For 2026, it's a stolen win. It's a stolen victory. They didn't even win it. To even suggest that they won is a mischaracterization of the electoral process. Look, up to now, we still do not have a winner for Mandev parliamentary level. Mandevu is an urban constituency. It's in Lusaka, the heart and center of all the operation of the Electoral Commission of Zambia. It can never take 2 weeks to declare a winner. Even before Mandevu was divided into two, we would have a winner 48 hours later, we would have a winner. Today, we are taking 2 weeks to declare a winner at parliamentary level in Mandevu. It clearly shows that the election was stolen, and the struggle to justify this theft is huge. They cannot justify the theft. I also want to urge our leaders. I know that many of us, are scared. Many of us, are in seclusion. Many of us do not want to come out in public. But this is the moment that we need to show up for the people, because the people made a decision. Zambians are very peaceful people. Zambians do not believe in, confrontation. They are not as militant as South Africans, so to speak. But this is the moment when we need to mobilize for the sake of the Zambian people that made a decision for the ballot. This is the moment when we need to come and stand for what is right, because it is the right of every Zambian to choose who should be their leader, and no one has a right to deny them that opportunity. So my appeal to all the leaders is to unite, come together, and then ensure we mobilize the population to protest, to ensure that we protest peacefully, because it is enshrined in the Zambian constitution that we can protest peacefully and make sure that our voices are heard beyond the Zambian borders. That is very, very critical. Secondly, I think we've been talking here about mobilization of the population. It's important. People in Ndola, Kitwe, Chirirabombwe, Chingola, Lusaka, anywhere else where Zambians are, it is their right to protest. Rise up and protest. Make sure that we restore our democracy. In 1991, we fought for this democracy not because we wanted to fight. It is because we believed we needed multipartism. And we cannot surrender this multipartism in the hands of one sector that believes they are the only ones who are the best to run for public office. Everyone who has the ability, who knows and qualifies to run for public office is entitled to do so. And no one should stop them using the military, using the soldiers. It is very, very critical. I mean, I did hear some callers mention about, the International Criminal Court. It's very key that we report these matters to every relevant authority to ensure that, for instance, the killing, extrajudicial killing of Honorable Mtoto Kafwaya is investigated, and those who are responsible must be brought to book. No one of us should lose their life for merely seeking public office. No one of us should be injured. No one of us should be subjected to torture for merely seeking public office. I think what has happened should never have happened in this country. And everyone else must rise to the occasion. I like the idea of whistling. I like the idea of
You are muted. You are muted. I think you've received a call. Yeah. Yeah, you are muted. Okay, you tried to speak.
Yes. So,
Yeah, okay.
I was saying, remember during the third term debate, the Oasis Forum came up with different ideas. We had ribbons, people were wearing black, people were honking. All those forms of protest do work. And if the people have come up and devised a formula through which they have to air their views, because right now everyone is scared, you're going to release commandos on them, cheapening an elite, unit of the Zambia army. It has been cheapened. We used to respect and fear commandos, but now we have reduced that elite section of our army to, sorry to say, to caponias, because the behavior of that elite unit is no longer the eliteness with which it was founded. Remember that even during the Captain Solo coup, those are the people that, brought it under control. But now we bring them to fight civilians. We bring them to come and, stuff ballot boxes. We bring them to come and start marking ballot papers. We bring them to come and steal an election. We have reduced them to cowboys. We've destroyed the Zambia army. Under Lieutenant General Zier, the Zambia army has become, a section that has got no respect again. We cannot respect a section of our army that is abused in that manner. So what we need to do now is to raise a population that is going to protest. We need look at the intelligence system itself. How do you act on falsehoods that you bring to the table about a militia that is non-existent? I still wonder, Kudu Road is less than 5 kilometers away from State House. How can you prepare a militia in Kablonga on Kudu Road? Kudu Road is less than 2 kilometers away from the Zambia Air Force Base. How can you prepare a militia? So, to unleash a force on an opposition leader in the manner that it was has really embarrassed us as a country, because it has exposed our intelligence system, it has exposed our army system, and therefore only the people themselves can restore sanity in all these sections. Ambassador, you've been talking about 3 men being sent to Russia. How is the Russian government feeling right now that we are accusing them of, preparing a militia? How many Zambians go, for instance, for training, using various platforms, NGOs, government, to different countries? How many Zambians have gone to South Africa to get trained for 2 weeks, 3 weeks? How many Zambians have gone to Europe, Ukraine, to the US, to England, to the Nordic countries? So many Zambians do go to different countries for short courses, refresher courses. We don't accuse those of, whatever nonsense that we are accusing the Russians now. How are the Russians feeling now? They probably didn't even know. The Russian government probably didn't even know that, people were training there for VIP. But look at how we want to, destroy bilateral relations with a very key part of this world, because Russia is perceived in a certain light by the Western world. You want to create an atmosphere as if the opposition leaders are collaborating with a country that is not in good books with the Western worlds, like the US or England or the or Britain. That was never the case. I mean, if people went to Russia, 3 people, I mean, it's unimaginable that you can unleash a force just because 3 people went to training. Where on earth have you seen 3 people take over a country in that manner? I think such kind of paranoia in our leaders must come to an end. And it is good, and I'm very impressed with the number of calls that have come in tonight. Listening to them, they're decisive, they're ready for the call of action. It is my prayer that we now get to act, because we all agree that Mr. Ichlema did not win the election. Mr. Ichlema lost this election. And now, because he has realized, he is hurt that these boys, the people he called boys, defeated them at the ballot. Now he wants to punish them by putting them in cells. He wants to instill fear in them. He wants to intimidate them so that he frustrates them and thinks that they will never come back from this. What he is forgetting is that he is only making them stronger. He is only making them stronger, and the revolution behind or beyond this point is one that he himself will not handle, because ultimately the people have the power. Today, he might have managed, because he killed him to take a fire, he has managed to silence them. He has managed to throw them in their closets. He has managed to throw them in their corner. They may be scared, but let him know that the people are resolved. He might not have it easy going forward. Spent a few days, Ambassador, I must say, in DC, reaching out to key partners, and all they are looking forward to is to ensure that the Zambian people themselves initiate the process to, demonstrate that this is their election, this is their country. Without the Zambian people showing that this is their country, there is no one who's going to help them. But when the Zambian people raise their voices, when the Zambian people say, this is our country, this is our election, it has been stolen from us, they will get the innumerable number of support, the massive support that they deserve from cooperating partners worldwide. And I think that is what is key going forward. Ambassador, I've just seen that there's also a press briefing by the church. Very, very disappointed with our church leaders. Our church leaders should have been above board. Our church leaders should not have played the role of handing over Honorable Brian Mundubile and Honorable Makebi Zulu to the police. What our church leaders, if they really wanted to play a role in this, should have done was to negotiate the dropping of these charges unconditionally, because there is no case of treason in this matter. There is no case. We have exhausted, we have analyzed the issue of militia. There is nothing here. It was just a man acting on his paranoia, and therefore no one deserves to be behind bars. This is why it is very disappointing that our church, rather than play a mediatory role where they would have ended this impasse, they have contributed to justifying non-existent matters. I think we could have done better. I'm looking forward. I see that they've posted a notice. They should be having a press briefing at the cathedral. Let's hear what they would say, but they could have done better in my view. Thank you very much, Ambassador.
Thank you very much, and thank you for helping, and thank you for that insightful analysis we've provided, Augustine. With that, viewers, we will see you later. Brian Mundubile and Makebi Zulu are facing treason charges. They were given warn and caution statements. They still remain in Lusaka, at Lusaka Central Police Station. I spoke to 2 lawyers. They've confirmed. I think the issue of taking them to Mukobeko probably was a diversionary tactic to draw us attention, so that maybe they didn't feel safe that they were at Lusaka Central Police, and maybe they didn't want people to know. But the 2 lawyers have confirmed that the 2 people, I think even by 9 o'clock, are supposed to go for further interrogation. We suspect they'll be charged with treason because they were given warn and caution statement on those treason charges. The other matters, the petition, Augustine, you were not here. We've held that the petition remains valid. The Chief Justice has not renounced his letter. He surrendered the petition to the Constitutional Court, and the Constitutional Court has not considered determined or headed. So the issue of inauguration is illegal until that matter of the petition is resolved. And we now came to call of action. We've been lamenting for the last 1 week, and you kept on saying, what's the direction? Today we've provided the direction. And I think we've come to a general consensus that let's start in this slow, peaceful way. Today at 17 hours, wherever you are, you honk, you whistle. Walisha no mufiori ngata ukwete whistle. You whistle, you honk, 17 hours. And the women, you know, one of our mothers here who calls very regularly, she said, "Banamava for a nemi pango to show your mourning." And in whatever form, another one says, just wear black and, you know, for the next few days. So let's see. If people will be honking at 17 hours, send me a video. If you hear honking wherever you've been in traffic or people are whistling, send me a video and we'll come and see if this is effective. You were asking what needs to be done. Some of you want to go on the streets and protest. I think let's hold on that particular matter, because we know there are soldiers and police that have been deployed to scare you. First, we need to educate you how to conduct a peaceful protest. Like we told you, water, you carry water. When they throw the tear gas, you put water on it, or a wet cloth. We need to teach you that when they are advancing, you sit down, you don't run. If you run, they'll shoot you. And that no soldier or policeman will shoot at innocent people facing them. But if you turn, they can shoot you. So we need to teach you about that. So for now, I think let's go with a peaceful one where you remain safe, and let's see how the campaign goes. What is the whole purpose of this? Is to express yourself, that you are not happy that soldiers stormed polling stations and changed results, that you are not happy that the election petition by Mundubile Makebi Zulu has been refused despite the Chief Justice accepting one of the petitions to be heard, that you are not happy that have been trumped up charges and they've been locked up, that you are not happy that the army killed Mtoto Kafuaya, that you are not happy with this arrogance you are seeing where they wish to proceed and go to inauguration, yet these matters have not been resolved. Those are the issues you are protesting about, you are expressing yourself. There was even one person who said, why don't we get a notice from the police and they give us a permit? That's another way. You still can proceed and request that, but beginning today, begin to honk, begin to hoot, begin to whistle, begin to vuvuzela, begin mwarisha kwemi mfiori, whatever it is at 17 hours. And if you can get a video, that would be very good. Augustine, we'll speak to you later.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Have a great morning, Ambassador, and
Thank
great
you.
morning to all.
Wake up to this morning news analysis show that provide facts, opinions, and reflections. On what the papers say, we frame key facts to provide a balanced perspective, set the national agenda, and focusing on cross-referencing newspaper coverage with primary data, expert and special guests to offer an in-depth look at daily stories. Live on EMV, I'm talking about Emmanuel Mwamba Verified. Wake up to this morning news analysis show that provide facts, opinions, and reflections.